Hello, friends, and welcome to another single-serving tabletop adventure from Queen's Court Games. I'm Aaron, your storyteller, and tonight we are continuing Convergence, a Lovecraft-inspired horror scenario for Delta Green, written by John Scott Tynes. As always, you can find a link to this scenario by popping !scenario in chat, or taking a peek at the show notes if you're catching up on YouTube or one of our podcasts. We are telling the story of Convergence in sequence, which means if this is the first episode you're watching, there's some really important stuff you need to go cover that happened in the last 3 hours. So hop on over to a podcast, go to YouTube, catch yourself up. We'll wait. We'll hang out here. I'm sure we'll be ready by the time you get back. While we wait for our good friends to go and reacquaint themselves with the lore, let me introduce you to our utterly wonderful cast. She came to us from Gobbleton Gaze. We locked her in a bathroom with an unknowable terror, playing the good Dr. Allison Langley. It is Aubrey.
Hello.
Still not disclosing his surprise at the time of recording, playing CIA case manager Quinn Rosewater, it is Logan.
Howdy ho, everybody.
Terribly unqualified for the mess they now find themselves in, playing anthropologist Joel Halusa, it's Jojo.
Hello. Hi.
And having recently abandoned her partner to whatever happens to be in the bathroom, playing Sergeant Elliot Short, it is V.
It seems like a one-person job.
Before we get any further, I would like to remind everyone that Delta Green is an adult horror game, and this scenario may include themes or topics that some viewers find uncomfortable or objectionable. Go ahead and put your exclamation point safety in the chat. That will bring up a list of content warnings so you can make sure you're not going to get hit with anything that you don't want to experience. If it's going to cause trouble for you, by all means, hop off. That's totally fine. We want everyone to be safe. On that note, our players have been notified of their safety tools. We have done our safety check-in, so we're all taking care of ourselves too. In the first episode of any series, I am the one who gets to tell you a story about what happened, but it is the second, which means I am going to get out the pain die, the little caltrop, and determine which of our lucky players gets to recap the situation, unless there are volunteers. Well, from left to right on mine, we have rolled a 3, which means it goes V, and Logan and Aubrey has selected by fate to tell us the story of what has happened so far.
Okay. Me going over my notes real quick. We all got the call, per se, of weird things are happening. You should go investigate this. So 8 days ago, Billy Ray Spivey went missing. 2 days later, showed back up, feeling weird, having some pain, very hungry, but nothing's coming back out. And then in a couple of days after that, punched his father through the chest, and then went on a bit of a robbing, killing spree. And then eventually we got him, they're studying him, and we were going to investigate, see what happened to cause this. So we all get together, we all meet, and we all have various opinions of each other, and then we all head out to... I didn't write down the name of the town. What was the name of the town? Was it
Groversville?
Groversville. That's what my brain said, and I wasn't sure. So we all head out to Groversville to get boots on the ground. We learn a little bit about other people who are in the town. Scott Adams is a name that comes up pretty early. Same thing with Jane Allen, who later we learn Scott Adams is a prolific UFO researcher who spends a lot of time, because apparently there's a lot of UFO activity in this town. And Jane Adams, we learn later, is Spivey's girlfriend or possible partner, something. We're not really sure of the full relationship between them. And so then we spend some time. We talk to the sheriff, who gives us a little bit of information about Spivey and some people he hung out with. And we will probably talk to them at some point, as long as we don't die. They're either going to be at the canteen or the reservoir, one of those places. We also got a little bit more on the medical stuff. Other than it's still a giant question mark. We're not really sure too much on that. We're only having to deal with people's notes who don't regularly deal with things like that, so they don't write down good details. And then we came back to the motel that we're staying at, learned fully about Jane Allen, tried to go see Jane Allen. Door's locked, you can't get it open, and the person who runs the motel isn't going to let us in, so therefore we break into Scott Adams' room successfully. Find his dead body. Lots of weird things. There was a thing on the side of his head. It is gone now, and weird noises are happening, and I am afraid.
And alone.
Yes.
Don't forget alone.
Mm-hmm. You weren't alone.
No.
And now you are alone.
I am alone.
Look, it's a motel bathroom. There was barely enough room for two of us, and now there's a third person in the bathtub, so I wasn't gonna be much use. It's fine. I'm sure it's gonna be fine.
Person, I don't know, is the word
Everything's
that I would
fine.
use.
Corpse? Is that the word? Is that the better word to use? Corpse?
Oh, no, sorry. I thought you meant there are 3 things in there now. But there's Dr.
Oh.
There's the body of Scott Adams, and then there's a third body. And
Well, no, it was me, and it was Dr. West, and then it was the body of Scott Adams. So it was just
Mhm.
crowded. So I wanted to give the doctor her space to work.
anyone who's gone to a con and tried to save a lot of money by putting like 7 people into one hotel room understands that you can't 2 people doing their makeup, 1 person. It just, it gets to be a mess.
I do know.
And you know, at the time, we didn't have any reason to think bad things were going to happen.
Except for the
Except
fact
that it's
you're
a
playing
Delta Green
game.
scenario.
Delta Green games.
Our first clue could have been the game. The second clue would be the dead body.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Hey, you know, it's okay. It'll be all right. What we ask is the worst that could happen.
A lot.
Yeah, but you can't think of it, right? So if you can't
Sure.
conceptualize the worst thing that could happen, it's just like a low-key background radiation dread, as opposed to like in Alien. Once you've seen the alien, you know the worst thing that can happen, right? So you have some comfort there in that you don't know how bad it can get.
Oh, good.
I do, and that's what makes it fun for me. So all of that, yes, is correct. Our 4 agents were summoned to the capital of Tennessee by the Federal Bureau of Investigation to investigate Billy Ray Spivey, and they have found themselves going to the town, talking to local law enforcement, trying to get reports from doctors, and now have discovered a body inside a hotel room. The most important part of this was indeed the 3 to 4 inch protrusion, a fleshy, bald lump on Scott Adams' head, which has now, as Dr. West pointed out, gone missing. But in the moment that Dr. West turned back into the room to consult with her colleagues, it went missing, and something sounds irritated. As we left, there was the banging of hollow pipes, like trying to turn water on when it's been turned off or the pipes are frozen. The water, bloody water mixture in the bathtub is starting to froth with like a feeding frenzy of something, sloshing around, coming up out of the bathtub, splashing. It's not great. And we still have to figure out what happened with the fleshy lump. That is where we left Dr. West. Dr. West, you've had a little while to think about it. What is your reaction to all of this?
As this all starts happening, it's probably a backing up slightly from the tub as this starts happening, and just being like, something's going on here.
The rest of you probably could hear that without Dr. West's professional opinion. How do you react to the situation as well?
I'm pretty sure I was dry heaving in the doorway.
Yeah.
If we want to start there,
Mhm.
that I will take up that mantle and resume the dry heaving in this moment. Just kind
Someone in
of
this world
braced
has to
against.
vomit, and it's gonna be me.
It's gonna be me. But I pictured I'm in the doorway still reeling, and now it's getting loud, and I think that's just in my head from the boo boof boo boof.
Oh, denial is an amazing skill to cultivate for Delta 3 agents. That is a good move on your part.
Yep.
Agent Eastman, Agent North.
Well, my first instinct is to reach for the gun that I have on my belt, and I want to dive straight for the room. I mean, Agent North, you're right there. So, like, would you also be diving there?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't been too far removed from the bathroom,
Yep.
and grabbing my pistol as soon as Dr. West says anything, that's first instinct. So yeah, absolutely right there.
Grabbing gun, and I want to grab the doctor and like just pull her right out.
Okay. So I was into the physicality. Agent North, you are turning around. You don't want to block the doorway, so you're like posting up on the side of the doorway, all like Charlie's Angel pose.
Yeah, because whatever's going to happen, I don't want to be in the way of it.
Of course.
But I want to have a visual.
Both the imminent rescue and then also whatever happens in there, you don't want to be in the way of. And then Agent Eastman, you are leaping forward, like scrambling up over the bed to grab Dr. West and pull them back, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I need the three of you to all do the same thing for me, and that is, will you roll dexterity? This isn't a pass-fail situation. I just want to kind of get a sense of the sequence of events and who is where when the next thing happens.
We just roll the 2 dice and trying to roll higher or lower?
Yes,
Lower.
You want to roll lower than
Okay.
your dexterity times 15.
Times 5?
Or times 5, yeah, sorry. 15 is something else, which your character sheet should have auto-populated that number.
Mine did not.
It did not. This sheet does not. For me, I rolled 45 on a 55. So
Okay.
I rolled a 64 on a 55.
Okay.
I rolled a 16 on a 55.
Well, this is really amusing to me because the person who started all of this, Dr. West, is the only one who kind of gets away scot-free. 16 under that is a great result. So I imagine some of that is due to the force with which Agent Eastman removes you from this situation. But I'm imagining, have you ever like very Midwest reference where like, have you ever had to like throw a hay bale and you're actually kind of doing it across your body? I see.
I know the idea.
Yes, or if you were working in like a luggage line, passing things down, like in a. You know what? We grew up different.
very different lives.
Point is that Agent Eastman is not facing forward to grab Dr. West because that makes it harder to move Dr. West. You have to turn your body. So you approach from the side to kind of grab and shovel along. Right about the time that you've made contact and you have moved Dr. West past you, so your left shoulder is pointing towards the bathroom. That is when explosion is really the only word that I can use. The banging inside the pipe has been growing in pitch the entire time, and then the bathtub erupts. Water and blood and whatever else is in there exploding up out of the bathroom like literal horror movie Carrie, like just covering everything. Now, Agent North, you passed your dexterity and you're posted up, so you are going to get like speckled with this. Not coated, but like if you're tilting your head around to get a look, or you have your arms out a little bit, it'd be on your wrists or maybe like a little bit on your cheek. Dr. West, you with your dexterity check and also Agent Eastman's assistants have been pushed far enough away that whatever this is, like you might get a little bit of splatter on your back, but nothing that touches your skin, and certainly not. It's not even enough to like make you realize that your clothes are wet, right? Just a few little specks. Agent Eastman, this bathtub explodes outward and like the water hits the walls, but the door is open. So whatever would have splashed against the wall there instead comes just shooting out through the door. It's a bit like a Kool-Aid commercial, right? just
Oh, no.
a solid wall of blood and water. As it hits you, you may not make the connection now, but later you will be like, that is entirely too thick to just be blood and water. Like the viscosity of this substance does not match my experience with blood and or water. And then the noise stops as the which is instant explosion out, this dramatic tidal wave of red watery goo. All of it hits the ground because gravity still works in this universe, and then silence.
Is everyone
Hello?
okay?
Everyone good?
Yeah. I'll kind of like wipe whatever little splotches kind of hit my neck and take a look at it. And I guess, luckily I have these gloves on still. Thanks, Doc. But I mean, is anything happening? Like, I mean, it's just like a goopy, thick sort of blood-like.
Not thick. This is going to be a little visceral. You make Jello,
Mhm.
and you add a little bit too much water, and there's like the red watery runoff of the Jello.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit like that. So it's not sticky, except in the way that like a little bit of blood in it would make it sticky. It's not thick like water and cornstarch. It's mostly water. That doesn't. There's no tingle. There's no burning. There's no like alien thing burrowing its way into your pores to control your brain.
I mean,
no.
good. That's good. Yeah, happy about that.
Assuming you know what that would feel like, whatever you assume that feels like, it doesn't feel like that. You were going to say Agent Eastman. I'm sorry.
So I'm just slowly trying to like clean myself off because I'm covered in it. I'm probably gonna need to change my clothes, and I probably want to take a shower. But Doc, can you make sure I'm okay?
Yeah, no, I will rush forward and just like look him over, make sure everything's fine. Try to collect any of the, like, if I have something I can collect, like the like a sample of whatever it is
For sure.
to see if I can figure out. Because again, not blood, not water, something else. So I want to make sure I can figure out what it is.
Mm-hmm. It's it's a mix of like I want to say it's 90% water, 5% blood, and then 5% special ingredient.
Yeah, what the special ingredient is.
Mm-hmm. As this is going on, Agent North, will you roll alertness for me? No reason at all. Don't worry about it. Agent Eastman, you will be happy to know that as you are inspected, you are not. There's no like hitchhiking fleshy lump on you. The liquid is not like coalescing like the Terminator into another bigger thing. Mostly, as far as Dr. West, you can tell, as far as you can tell, Dr. Eastman, it's just that you've had a perfectly good set of clothes ruined.
31 on 80 for alertness.
All right. So then Dr. West having this conversation with Dr. Eastman, they are going through the I just threw the dice. I've been tossing them between my hands back and forth, and I just like failed my dexterity roll, and it just went like way across the room. As the two of them are inspecting one another, you hear the it's like a that like again the Jello. We're gonna continue coming back to Jello a little bit. Jello through a straw, and then you run out of Jello and you get that. But instead of an up, it's more like a down, so it has a bit more bass, a bit more hollow to it.
Sure. As I hear this, I kind of like poke my head in and take a look at the bathtub. Does it appear that like the liquid in the tub is draining or moving at all at this point?
A lot of the liquid in the bathroom is moving, actually. I would venture to say all of the liquid in the bathroom is moving or draining, and you turn in time to see all that stuff on the walls sliding down across the floor, up the edges of the bathtub, down into the bathtub, and descending. So you roll sand for a second.
While I'm not aware of it, I just want to imagine I'm just like I have a handkerchief and I'm like, man, this is such a good suit. I really got to learn to not take my good ones out on missions.
Mm-hmm.
I got a crit. which means nothing for Sand, but I'm sad. I got 33.
Yeah. No, you'll take 1. 1 is better than the alternative.
I'm sure.
It's just it's essentially the explosion, but in reverse and slower. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to assume you don't want to touch any of that, right?
No, but I will kind of draw people's attention to it, because even though I know the rule is generally don't read the spooky book out loud when you're doing spooky stuff, this is kind of an important thing that people need to realize that we're dealing with. So I would let them know that if they want to come look at some spooky shit, there's some spooky shit happening right the fuck now.
Is that how you phrase it? Literally, you just turn to the bathroom and go like, "Hey, there's some spooky shit happening."
No, Agent North would never. But that's how V would do it. No, I'm kind of I'm a little not frozen, but just stuck a little bit as I'm watching all of this happen. And I don't even turn my head away from it, because I'm worried that if I look away, it's gonna just disappear, right? Like, I have to make sure that I'm watching it. So I actually just snap my fingers to get people's attention, and I just say, there's something very unnatural happening in this bathroom right now.
Agent Eastman, I will give you the benefit of the doubt of having, and Agent Dr. West also, having been on operations like this before, and having experienced, quote, unnatural, end quote, things, it's more than reasonable for you to say, like, yeah, I'm not going to fucking look at it. I like my brain not being, like, jellified. There are some things I just don't want to see or know. Mm-hmm. Agent Southerland, your naive curiosity, I don't know so much, but I will let each of you make your own decision as to whether or not you choose to witness this phenomenon.
Yeah, I was going to say that Agent Southerland, after everyone is a sopping mess, would have tried to have looked for like one of those stupid hotel hand towels, just a little one to try and like meagerly offer it to Grumpy North over there. So he would have been padding behind a couple of feet, and probably would round into the doorway, or at least be like arm striking range. So he'd be shortly behind, with good intentions, but once if not already, once there's like weird stuff happening, he's definitely like, what?
That's fine. You will see the same thing. I will say, to clarify, this process is pretty fast.
Sure.
Which is worse for Agent North, I suppose, because that means all of this goes in about 30 to 45 seconds, and it gets faster the closer everything gets to that pipe. But you will see the same thing. Agent Southerland, will you do me a favor and roll sanity for me as well?
Sure. That's 2d10, yeah?
Yeah, everything's 2d10 unless we say otherwise.
If you go insane from this, I am sorry.
Okay, no worries.
It's not that bad. It's obviously weird, but it's not. They draw the distinction in these kind of things between, is it dangerous, and like the size and the scope of it.
So I have to roll under my current, is that
correct? Yes.
That's awesome. I rolled a 73 out of 74.
So yeah, you'll take a 0 for that. Do an A-okay.
Nice.
0 or 1?
0, because he is coming in at the tail end of it. You get to see the whole bathroom just, and Agent Southerland is there for the last part of it, just kind of see a little bit.
The dregs.
Still weird, and if nothing else, looking at Agent North's face, you're like, okay, well, not great. 2 things I want to clarify. 1, body's still there. The body did not get slunked down the thing, because that I was like, that's going to be a point that we're going to want to make sure. And the second thing, the liquid that has touched any of you is not going to the drain. So, like in this last moment,
still a ruined suit.
Yes. If it's in the carpet, it's getting pulled that direction. But if it has touched you, any of you, anywhere, it does not get called back or whatever's happening.
Interesting.
I don't believe I was caught in it, to clarify.
Oh no, you were, yeah. We separated the team
honestly
into like 2 groups. There was group out, as in coming out of the, or group in, as in the line of fire of the bathroom, and then there was group out, as in Agent Southerland was letting all the things out of his body in the doorway.
Nice.
You were going to say something, Agent Eastman.
I was just saying, honestly, I think I'm the only one who really suffered much. North got a little spackled, but I'm the one that is unfortunately in the line of fire.
What are we going to do about this?
Well, first of all, I'm not comfortable, but I understand we really need to contain this scene, because if someone comes in and sees the body and me covered in gook, and it just doesn't, it's not a good look. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our room is right down the hall. You brought clothes. You can go change.
We can contain the scene while you go to get changed, and I will hand you like a bag or something to put the suit in just in case. Yeah.
So if anyone doesn't mind, I want to take care of that, because I assume there are 3 perfectly capable adults able to deal with the aftermath of chaos.
Well,
so I at least
2
want to take
and
care of
Agent
that.
Sutherland.
2.5.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm helping.
So I will do that if no one minds.
No, please. I
it.
would rather you not be here looking like.
Especially if we have to like call a sheriff or something to be like, hey, there's a dead body here. We're going to be.
Sorry. So the bodies. Okay, sorry. No, I will wait. That question just popped in my head. I will wait. I
want to know what it would. I'm excited. What?
Well, it's going to interrupt the flow of things. But you said the body was still in the bathtub, but all the liquid has drained out. Okay, that means they're literally it's just a dead body with cuts and things, but there's no blood now anywhere in the room. Because that doesn't look weird or suspicious to anybody coming to this scene.
It does.
It really does. Okay, cool. Sorry. Great. That was my question.
Also, not for nothing, notifying local authorities about the bodies going to raise some interesting questions about how you got into the room, but you are professional, invisible government agents. I'm sure you can think of something.
We knocked on the door and it was open, obviously.
Yeah, it was unlocked. We smelled something weird. We just wanted to make sure he was safe and fine. And then we found this.
Makes sense to me.
The motel that we're in, we've been using motels, so I assume it's like one of those dinky, like 1-2 stories tops. You know?
Yeah, I think we're on the 2nd floor right now.
Okay, cool. I think out of just maybe half wanting to catch a breath and unsure what to do, Agent Sutherland might like walk over first to Agent North and go, do you guys need me? Like, is there anything I can help with? Wow. Hey, maybe you need a shower too. Anything?
I kind of look him up and down. Are you any good with computers?
I know how to work them. Yeah, sure. Definitely. Probably.
I gesture over the piles of takeout containers and trash to the laptop that we found in the corner last time we were, or the last session. And I just say, well, we need to know what's on that, just in case he's been writing about anything that he's been experiencing since he's been here. That's probably very helpful.
Okay, got it. I'll do that, and I'll leave you guys to the
body.
Yeah, I'll just be over here.
Yeah, oh, hold on. And I turn to Dr. West and I just say, can you give him a pair of gloves? I don't want his fingerprints on the laptop.
Yeah, you get a pair of gloves as well.
Right, of course. Right. I knew that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll make my way over there.
Yeah. The computer, nice little MacBook, is operational It's been plugged into the wall. Despite being in the line of fire of this water, it does not appear to have permeated the case, so it is still on and active. It is not password secured.
Awesome.
Sorting through the desktop. You could spend a little more time going through like all the actual files, but it's a pretty risky thing to delve into a single 48-year-old white man's computer. But on the desktop, there are a few folders and files that will draw your attention. One appears to have the contents of his UFO investigations in the area for like this last trip that he's on.
Okay.
The other is an audio file that was recorded only a couple days ago. I will provide for you oh my god, I just opened up the chat window and I just see all the Jello GIFs. I did not know that they were there until just now.
Oh my lord.
I'm so sorry, chat. We have been in our
Yep.
God, this is sinful in there. What's happening? Jesus. Holy shit.
Okay, I don't know. Is sinful the right word? I don't know.
Look at the way
there are two text files that I've shared. One is a note file with names and dates categorized by different kinds of UFO activities. So, for example, it says Jeff Owens, and it provides a phone number, and it says he had 3 cows mutilated on the 1st of August, the 4th of August, and the 8th of August. And then a little lower down, you'll see, Bud Aldrich, and here's some contact information for him, has 1 hour of missing time on the 15th, and then 1 hour on the 29th, and then 3 to 5 hours in the last whatever. So there are lists for livestock mutilations, livestock alterations, missing time, sightings of black helicopters, some strange lights, crop circles, and then something called JA. The second file is szet.txt. That is difficult to describe. If you are attempting to read it, it's very stream of consciousness. Like, it's got a bit of a 1990s like satire live journal pseudo-intellectual feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Starting out by saying, I am wondering about the possibility that the brain translates information in terms of the extrasensory, and that's why it achieves intuition and common sense. For evidence of ESP, or extrasensory perception, look for coincidences, especially within words of significance. If I leave you with a few words that are significant to me personally as examples, if you write down the word choice, underline the letters OI of choice, and then underneath insert the binary code, that's OI of course, you will see that the difference between the I and the capital I is of a number with no head on it. And it kind of gets worse from there.
Yeah. I don't know if there would be anything that applies to this, but I have a search skill of 80, and I was trying to find maybe some kind of unifying like most common denominator across the folders, maybe that they're all within a certain date, or if there was any repeat visits, or just anything that I might be able to pull together instead of it being 3 avenues, maybe a goal other than it being a collection of ufology.
The thing search is for finding clue, like it's more like an investigation find stuff skill. If you wanted to like look for digital patterns or stuff like that, that would be SIGINT, or like not electronics. Electronics is like welding and soldering components and stuff.
Okay, got it.
SIGINT would be like cracking codes, things like that. There are some other things you can do.
Okay.
I don't. If I suggest them, it gives it away, and I want you all to have
That's
time
okay.
to come up with it. The only other thing that you will find is a message, that .wav file, which I will provide for you in our same chat. We will also play it for you here. So give yourself a second to go listen to that while we play it for the audience now.
just like, oh, like type like I am such and such and I blank, and then let your phone prediction just like mash the middle button until you get a sentence. That's what mine always end up sounding like. Just without the creepy high pitched sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why my brain jumped to a number station.
It does have that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, it's got that like number station vibe.
Cool.
Okay, well, you having said that, now I'm wondering, can I make a SIGINT roll to see if I can if anything stands out about that sound clip?
You can mess around with it. Yeah, if he's doing any kind of audio recording, he'll have some basic editing software, or you could put it on your own computer.
Definitely did not make that roll. I got 84 on 50.
There is something going on there. It is not... What you are hearing is kind of a result of it being poorly processed, poorly recorded. You know something is up, but you can't figure out what you have to do to it to get that. You don't know which button to push on the enhance machine to pull out the information you're looking for.
It's not my computer, it's a different machine.
If I could, I would, whether it's just like plugging my phone in or however, I would definitely make like click drag copy and paste into like my phone or a thumb drive, even if it's just doing it with my phone. But what year is this again? Hold on. Wait, this is a long time ago, right?
Oh, that's like 2 days past tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I definitely would do that.
If not a SIGINT roll, I would also maybe take a listen roll. It's going to be hard. You'll have to take a penalty on that roll because you're not using the right skill and you're mostly just like making furrowed eyebrows at the noise, trying to see if you can peel out what's in it.
Would that be alertness?
Yeah, we can do alertness.
Okay. I can try that.
Or you could also probably do intelligence. Just roll int times 5.
73 on 80.
No, because with the penalty, it's probably be negative 20% to see what's up there. Anyone else wants to take a crack at it? That's fine. Just to kind of see what's what. But
I assume I'm at least listening in as well. So I'll take a crack at it. Do you want me to roll for alertness?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
Or int times 5, whatever is better for you.
I think I'm going to...
Int times 5?
Whichever is better. If you have a 70 alertness and a 60 int, then roll alertness. If you have a 10 alertness and a 70 int, roll int.
Okay. All right, then I'll roll under int. Okay.
It'll be a negative 20% penalty for those things. What were you going to say, Dr. West?
I think I am going back into the bathroom. Taking a second, making sure nothing is going to explode, come out at anything again.
It's much cleaner than the way you found it.
And then I'm going to continue my examination of the body.
Mm-hmm. You don't ask any questions about where everything went. You're just like, oh, cool, it's clean, great, just get to work.
The sound would have given it away.
Yeah,
right?
I think.
Sure, okay.
And seeing your reactions to whatever happened, I guess it was not good. The less I know about it, the better.
I mean, fair.
Go back a moment. Agent North, what's your base again? What is it just on its own?
50.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if it was a little bit higher, you might have gotten that clue for free, but 50 isn't quite what you need.
Ugh.
I got a 16 out of 85.
Well, that is really, really good.
Great.
And you realize kind of what the problem is. The sound file is something that Adams recorded over his car radio. It was coming out of the car radio, hence the sound. The message has been slowed down and then reversed. And that's what makes it sound weird, is that this is the reason it sounds so strange to you is because whatever came out of the radio was very, very fast and playing in the wrong direction. So like if I said the sentence like the car is red, what you hear is like red car is the, and then sped up. That actually wasn't backwards, but my brain can't work that fast. You get the idea.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Knowing that, and using the basic tools that are available for free, you can get a clearer picture of the oh, well, that's on me because I sent you the afterwave first. The one that you heard is actually the correct version. I will give you the before. It's just my fault for dragging the wrong file because I have them both. But this is the cleaner version of what you heard. The 12-second one is the correct version. The 31-second is the original audio that you heard.
Dealing with. It's been a long time and we have many things to do and you are not sure what you are doing. Stop now. Stop now.
Understood, but we figured that out, Agent Southerland and Agent North.
Yeah.
V would high five you. Agent North would not. But
yeah, don't touch anything. And then just for accessibility, so everyone knows what's going on. The message, once made clear, sounds like dealing with, and then a name you can't understand, has been a long time, and we have many things to do, and you are not sure what you are doing. Stop now. Stop now. That's the original version. And then once you've cleaned it up, that's the correct version. The messy version would have sounded like Billy Webb has been a blah garbled, and we have many things to do, and your note says what your duty. Talk now, tone brown. So you translated that mischief nonsense language into something a little more useful.
Yeah, Agent North, you can see that there's actually a pattern of vowels in here. And I think this is just not doctored. It's not cleaned up, but I don't know. Maybe someone's trying to get a message across, or maybe someone heard something and whipped out their phone and just started recording off something that they heard off the radio. If he's a ufologist and he's keeping all these different track records and meeting all these different people, it's possible that this is just like a handheld recording that someone just heard off of, a Jeep or a car that was open and could have just forwarded it to this guy. Possibly, maybe.
Can we, I guess above table question. Is there like metadata on the file that we can check to see if it's like a thing that like
super recent?
Okay. But like, is it like from Scott Adams' iPhone or whatever? Like,
yeah. Like a DVR that he had, something that, a digital voice recorder, which also means digital video recorder. And they really should have cleaned up those acronyms, but yeah, a little thing you carry around to click and do interviews with.
Okay. All right. So likely it was him actually recording the thing.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. Then what radio station would be broadcasting something like this? Where exactly is he getting this recording from?
50% SIGINT will tell you a lot about how radio works. Now, like if it's FM, AM, that is like very heavily regulated by the FCC, and you're not allowed to step on people's frequencies and things like that. So either there's a radio station, and you're kind of in the boonies, like you know how radios work. There's not like Bumblefuck Nowhere FM, home of the Bumblefuck Spartans, right? Like major cities have them, and if you live far away, then you just have to deal with shitty reception. So either a radio station in like Knoxville or Memphis or something is barfing this out, in which case you probably would have heard of that, right? Because like the FCC would have been like, hey, who is doing this? Or it is a very local transmission with just enough power to overwhelm the signal in this area without attracting attention from elsewhere. The inverse square law says that in order to make a radio wave go one more unit of distance. Like if you double the distance, you have to square the power. So it gets very expensive energy-wise very quickly to make these things reach further. It would have to be in the city or at the very most like in the county if someone had like a no shit real transmitter.
Okay. I went and checked the map to see if anything stood out that could maybe be a place, but nothing immediately.
I'll tell you so you don't end up going bananas over it, that the power clue is just it lets you shrink the ring of possible spaces where it could come from to the town or the immediate surrounds.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to go like, can I get an aerial Google satellite and find out who has a radio mast in their backyard? Do not do that. That is not, it's not.
No, I wasn't doing that. I just wasn't sure if there was like maybe like a, like an electronics store or, like a school sort of like pirate radio station, whatever on the map. Anyway, something that would obviously stand out.
Maybe we could, acquisition like a, I don't know, like a radio, like a ham radio or something, whatever we use, but we could just set it up, and if we're lucky, maybe it'll just happen again.
50% SIGINT again, real life knowledge coming out here. If you want to direction find a radio station, you need to record 2 different points. So if you imagine that the radio station is in this tower, right, and it just barfs out in a big circle all the way around it. If you only have one point, it's just going to give you a straight line towards where the transmitter is. You need another point to measure from, and then where those points intersect will give you a little zone around it of where the transmitter might be. That is equipment that is pretty easy to come by. You could get it shipped in from Knoxville like overnight from the FBI. It's not the kind of thing you carry with you. If you were interested in tracking down how those radio signals are getting around.
Cool. Noted. I do also read over Agent Southerland's shoulder as he's, pulled up these documents, and the one with all the different UFO sightings kind of stands out to me as you kind of go down to JA. There's a part that says P period 3 weeks equals 6 months, refuses prescription, got a room for her at the shut-eye. And then also Allen, Barn, Thomas, Jacobs, Cartwright, and Anderson never go home. Allen, Jane Allen?
Maybe.
So, yeah. I'm guessing that these are all of his friends that have come to the hotel or to the motel to meet up with him that the lady at the front desk was talking about.
Based on things you've encountered so far, I don't know that you would have encountered anything that might provide you with a pattern among those names. So far, the only people you've met are the woman behind the counter who, because I had you make up her name, obviously is not on this list. Sheriff Dan Oakley, the doctor, those names are not on here. But Allen, Barn, Thomas, Jacobs, Cartwright, and Anderson do not mean anything to you at the moment. There are ways you can find out. It's just that, like, right now, like, who the fuck are those people? Like, Allen, Jane Allen could be, maybe, I don't know. But, like, the Barn family, the Thomas, like, is Thomas the first name? Who knows?
Oh, I mean, I'm just speculating because the lady at the front desk specifically said that, like, he had friends that would come in and he would get rooms for them. So, just, yeah, got a room for her at the shut-eye. I'm just assuming that all of the folks down on that list are people that maybe have checked into the shut-eye and never go home, or people that he's gotten rooms for. Again, it's just pure speculation, but it's a...
You would have the guest register memorized from the time that you looked over, right? Mm-hmm. Or not memorized, they would at least ring some bells. And aside from Jane Allen, who signed up, and Scott Adams, none of those names appear on the guest register in the time that you looked.
But if he's buying the rooms, anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I'll drop it. I'm just speculating. It's fine.
So you have a couple leads at this point. Still have the bit with the teenagers to figure out, either at the reservoir or the county bunker, or is it country bunker? I don't know. I feel like country bunker is probably a more likely name.
Yeah, I think it was the country bunker.
Yeah. You can go down this radio route if you want to track it that way. Worth noting, Dr. West, that in the time that's intervened, you have not gotten anything new from the investigations outside the state. Nothing coming in on that front. Agent Eastman, I have an important question for you. The new suit that you put on, does it look any different from the old suit, or did you just come with like 3 copies of the same CIA man uniform?
No, I'm a little bit more willing to go out of the standard. So I was wearing a black suit. Now I am wearing a charcoal gray suit.
Excellent.
Okay.
I was going to ask, should I be worried of going by myself at this point anywhere?
Why would you say that?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the viscera that's over my body.
Who says you're alone?
Aubrey!
Agent Eastman, you're never alone anymore. You just know it's.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay.
It hasn't done anything, right? And like aside from like the little bit of like Jello runoff weirdness, it has behaved totally normally.
As normal as anything, right?
There's so like the stuff that didn't touch you, that did some weird shit. The stuff that did touch you has not done any weird shit, aside from just be on you and feel gross.
Okay. Well, I'll take care of my, put my suit in the bag, change and, shower really quickly as fast as possible to make sure I'm thoroughly cleaned. I do want to, as I'm like cleaning, I believe I heard about this. Yeah, I was there when the other liquid just went down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to look and see, is the liquid like trying to quickly go down the drain on its own? Or is it just, hey, here's gravity, here's flow of liquid, it's going down the drain normally?
What I love about this is that in this movie scene, like I don't imagine that like Eastman has like a degree in like fluid mechanics or anything. And like
No.
when you talk about like the paranoia of this moment setting in, and like you're like washing it out of your beard and it's hitting the ground and you're just like staring at it, trying to determine is that water moving faster than it would otherwise, and just how like the violins are picking up at this moment as the camera's zooming in, but you honest to God can't tell. That is some crazy insane shit. Will you roll sand for me?
Sure. I think I created this
that
opportunity.
normal people
Yeah,
do.
you did this to yourself.
You did.
But I do appreciate the sack it takes to see what happened in that bathroom and then decide the right move is to get in the shower. Like that is a level of I don't give a shit. I'm getting myself cleaned up.
I got an 11.
Yeah, then none. Yeah, you don't take anything for that. It's a 0-1.
Okay.
So by passing, you don't take anything. But no, you will not notice anything. If it's moving any faster, it is imperceptible. Or if it is moving faster, is it moving faster, or is it like just the mind playing trick? It's not like you wash it off and then it goes like like rocketing into the So
that's more what I was worried about. Like, is something obviously supernatural happening here? Okay, quickly do my business. Get a new suit, change into it as quickly as possible, and then head back to the team.
I think my brain has just been like connecting stuff, and then at one point, Dr. West, I will poke my head out of the bathroom and being like, I think we actually should investigate the reservoir no matter what, because all of this went down the drain. And it's more likely than not headed back to some sort of thing which will connect to the reservoir. Maybe the reservoir has some sort of connection to this.
Fair. I don't remember if we got the answer to this question last time. How long, in Dr. West's personal opinion, How long has the body been a corpse?
How long has Adams been dead?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the part about kind of being exsanguinated by a strange fluid that does not obey the rules of physics will complicate your diagnosis a little bit.
Yeah.
But based on lividity, bruising, not more than a couple days.
Yeah.
Not fresh, but you would expect some other things to have occurred if he'd been in there a really long time.
Yeah.
What makes it difficult is so one of the things you look for is if you leave a body in a tub, then the blood starts to come, gravity works and it'll pool in the lower extremities, right?
Mhm.
So if it had been there for a week, you would expect really heavy, deep purpley tissue down there. But then the water exploded at you and ran away. So, but on the whole, yeah, you don't think it couldn't have been that long. There's not enough decomposition. You would expect some sign of something. Yeah.
I'll give you my professional estimate of several days, but less than a week.
Cool. Can I cross-reference that with metadata on the files that we've checked out, when they were last edited?
Yeah, no, he was dead after the last time someone messed with the file. He was dying happened after
the
last time someone edited or messed with it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've copied the file here. What do we do now, Agent North?
Well, at this point, we don't really want to get the local authorities involved in this. We have to clean this up, but I have a feeling that there might be other things that we also have to clean up. So let's try and, I don't know, maybe...
Leave? We should leave, maybe. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. If we leave, we should probably check other rooms.
We should at least make sure that the same thing hasn't happened to Jane Allen.
Yeah.
Oh man, do I have some bad news for you on that front?
Okay. Maybe we just wait in the hallway for Agent Eastman to come back? Maybe, strengthen numbers and all that.
Oh, I can tell you this, that you don't have to get really granular about it, because as you go through the different rooms, and lock picking them, whatever, it doesn't really matter to me, you don't find Jane Eastman or anybody else in any of the rooms. Some of them are filled up with boxes of UFO evidence, but...
Did you mean Jane Allen?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, Jane...
What did I say instead?
You said Jane Eastman?
Yeah, no,
so I thought you were saying, as you were going through the rooms, you don't see Jane, you don't see Eastman, and I was like, wait, what happened to Eastman? He was inducted!
Bye.
No, Logan is just so handsome. I keep looking over to that side of the Zoom call, and Eastman was right there. No, you don't find that. No Jane Allen, no other persons at all. Dead, living, otherwise. Some of the rooms are filled with those white foldy box, cardboard boxes of evidence of UFO activity. Many are just empty and have not been used. That's all there is to that.
And Jane Allen's room just looks like a room. There's nothing we can notice about it.
Somebody was in it, that much. In the way that the bed hasn't been made by housekeeping. They didn't do that little cute toilet paper origami thing so that it's a fresh roll. None of that has happened. So it's been lived in, but there's no sign of foul play, no blood, no furniture knocked over, nothing. Just looks like someone was in this hotel room and then it hasn't been turned over.
Has any of the other rooms, because I know Scott, his room had a towel under it, right? Mm-hmm. Under the door. None of the rooms had anything like that, right? Just Scott's room?
Yeah, Scott had turned his room into a neckbeard light-proof den.
Okay.
like, don't show me the sun, it's like a shower, it curses me, like that kind of avoiding stimulation. But that is not the case in any of the other room.
Great.
Yep.
Well, we'll
I'm assuming
eventually
you
have
guys
to
are
deal
gonna-
with. Oh no, go ahead.
As I say, I'm assuming people bring me up to speed from my shower of the files and listening to the weirdness and. Okay.
I would like to add that when they're bringing up Agent Eastman to speed, Agent Southerland definitely is a little bit of like notice me, senpai. Just a little bit of like, yeah, I found these recording. I asked Agent North how I could help, and I did.
Agent North, so you let Agent Sutherland have full credit. Do you?
I mean, I don't care. The job just needs to get done, and he obviously gets a lot of gratification out of people patting him on the back. So, that's fine. I've been in this business far too long to care about individual credit for something as menial as finding the recordings and figuring certain things out. So, yeah.
Okay.
I think I catch this behavior as well, so I literally pat Sutherland on the back, like, "Good job,
You got like 90
you're doing good work."
You got like 90 in human. You understand this entire interaction from top to bottom. Like Sutherland wants to appear he's contributing. Agent North does not give a shit about any like whatever the information's out there. Yeah, no, you've got all these people clocked.
And I will also mention my kind of like we should definitely check out the reservoir.
And I like hearing that and seeing the names. Yeah, total. For what just happened to me, and then from what happened to the rest of the liquid, we got to figure out what's happening there.
It's going somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm also interested in the bunker because we don't know these names. So go to the place where the people are, wherever that is. And I don't think tomorrow's Sunday, right? So it's not like church services or something. So.
Well, the only distinction I can draw between those two things is that the bunker is in town and the reservoir is out of town. So you could probably, it would make sense to go to the bunker
first,
on your
then
way
reservoir.
out to the reservoir.
Sure.
I will say that the amount of time that has passed, if you figure, I honest to God have no idea how long it takes to get from Memphis to a made-up town in Tennessee. But I think we said about like a half hour, an hour. You've been this for a while. You did not get there in the morning. Some of you didn't get there until very late, if you'll recall. So it's coming up on dusk. By the time you go to the reservoir, it will probably be dark. If that factors into your decision at all.
I mean, if we can't catch his friends there, we can catch them at the reservoir, and two birds with one stone.
Mm-hmm. Well, then the lot of you pile up into your squad mobile, your rental car, and what is it, like a nondescript? Do you think the agency would have paid for a full size, right? It's not like someone has to be in the back squeezing like knees to chest because they're in a
no.
What's coupe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're driving a big full size SUV. Absolutely. Black, of course.
Yeah, because nothing says nondescript like a black SUV in like bleeding heart UFO Republican territory. Well, that's not going to attract any attention.
Look, with all the lifted trucks around here, it's, I'm sure it's fine.
I guess we can't say it's like 2 days past tomorrow, because if that's the case, the townsfolk would have been blockading you with like no Antifa in Groversville signs, because you are obviously FBI agents who were there to do a false flag operation and then blame Trump.
Sure.
Oh, too real. Moving on to Merle's Country Bunker. It is as described. It is a combination diner, convenience store, and like tchotchke shop. All the small town kind of main street shops you imagine a nice little quaint place having rolled into one. There are more cars in the area. There is traffic happening. It's like the entire town's a ghost town. As you pull up, there are people entering and leaving, various ages. But the crowd tilts older because it's rural America, but there are still people in their 40s and 30s and a couple here and there in their 20s. If you are interested in, I remember last time I said leather work, and that caused a bit of consternation. So if you are interested in cowboy gear, like belts or boots or the shirts that have like the little, it's from like the they've appropriated like the Mexican part of like the fringe on the shoulders, those kind of shirts. I don't know what they're called. You could buy any number of audiobooks for truckers and things like that. The food is pretty standard fare, the basic stuff that a human being could make, nothing special, although apparently they have a special on omelets in the morning if that's your thing. Aside from that, very ordinary place. The person behind the counter is a 35-year-old gentleman. It appears he is responsible for running every part of this operation. So if you're going to buy something, he'll go over to that part. If you want to order a burger, he'll go over to that part. This is a one-man show.
Is there a little name tag?
Yeah, what's on it?
Oh, you're asking me.
Mm-hmm.
I named the last one. Someone else should name someone.
All right.
Chuck.
Chuck? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we're all coming in as a squad, 4 strangers. I guess we're not that strange because this town is full of UFO folk and, 4 people coming in. I want to walk up to Chuck and say, "Oh, sir, we're just looking for a place to get a bite to eat. What do you recommend?"
You gotta have the Chuck Don't Fuck double thick Angus burger. It's a special. It's not on the menu, but I tell you what, the way that he lights up and launches immediately into this description of like the burger he has created, which is like, normally we only sell a single and a double, but this one, you're used to like double cheeseburger, right? Like meat, cheese, meat, cheese. No, man. We're going meat. We're going cheese. We're going meat. We're going cheese. We're going meat. We're going meat. We're going cheese. And then you squish all that down, right? Because I got lettuce on both sides, not because we want it to be healthy, but because like I need to contain all the grease. Then I got your tomatoes. Then I got your chili. Then I got your mushrooms. And like visualizing this,
my heart stops for a moment and then comes back to beating normally, and I go, "Chuck, that sounds fantastic. We'll have 4. And is there a place for us to sit?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very basic, like McDonald's plasticky kind of generic diner seating. Ketchup and mustard in the little red and yellow bottles with the pointy. Yep. And then like there's a little metal tray with those saltine crackers and some Splenda, right?
Yep.
Very standard Americana.
Perfect.
Well, this is going to take a while, but Chuck does not seem to care. There are no further questions. It's not like, do you want fries and onion rings? This is not that kind of establishment. He is just straight back there. Although he will yell as he orders behind. Y'all want something to drink while I'm on this?
I'll take a water.
Water is fine as well.
Water's all around? All right. And then you see him like throw the patties down, no gloves, not washing his hands. Goes, fills up some those plastic. They have that texture. It's like just that diner glass texture. And the glass is a little cloudy, chipped from God only knows how much use.
Oh, it's actually glasses. It's not those like frosted plastic ones.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like and then like. Just the one they come in the small ones that you get like chocolate milk at an IHOP in. This is the older brother of those with water and ice. He'll bring those over and then like scrambling back over to the grill to flip the patties, and he starts going. But the distance between the kitchen and the diner is not so far that he cannot have an entirely too loud conversation with you. So he will yell over his shoulder as he assembles this fat and calorie bomb. So what brings y'all to Groversville?
I'm
UFOs?
going to look at you. Oh yeah, UFOs.
And I'll just like I'll make sure to like point just like really like obviously at Southerland, because I'm just like, this is your time.
At that point, remembering Agent Eastman being like, anybody who starts to ask questions, you just start talking, and I'm going to start referencing the cow mutilations, the guy that lost like people that have been losing hours of sleep or hours out of their days, and I basically just start recounting like the tidbits that we've just discovered as like stuff that I'm here to we're here to learn more about, and I get really into it.
Well, Chuck is of two minds about it. On the one hand, like, you can't tell if he honestly believes or if he just recognizes with like 4 of the brain cells that are not used by basic biological processes. If he realizes that like the UFO stuff is like kind of essential for the town's economy. But whether he's a true believer or just a really good actor, you cannot tell the difference because like he just starts immediately engaging with you. Happy to discuss those things, encouraging speculation. He'll be like, "Oh no, that one, yeah, Burr said it was a alien that got his cow, but that was just a coyote. You just want to get a little more attention. But the other one, I meant to tell you," and then going into all the details and like, this guy is incredibly well versed. So he's comparing the mutilations that happened here to the ones in Idaho and then drawing these like conspiratorial connections. And he's like, now you think that it might be a Boise kind of incident, but we didn't see any black helicopters. And there's always black helicopters around a Boise incident. You know what I'm saying? Now, that Adams guy been around. I'm going to keep telling him when he comes in, we got to get ourselves a Groversville incident, right? What's talking about with when you get on the search engine, we want to be, like first thing that comes up, have our own little identity. But no one wants to talk about it. And just on and on and on and on and on. Just like the 3 of you, like no shit, like almost roll sand just for being bored to death by nerd shit, as Southerland and Chuck just like meld their minds.
And I would like to add that at some point there's definitely like the first couple like 2-3 minutes of like some awkward. But then after that, like Agent Southerland definitely actually starts to have fun talking about it and goes in on it. But there's definitely a moment after a couple, like a minute or 2, where it goes on to like a full like ethnographic interview with like participant observation, and it becomes like a case study, and it is a window into the way the people in this town operate and the way they look at things. And this is also him doing an anthropologist's work for the local point of view, the things that the locals say, that's not it, because local point of view will trump everything over a ufologist that just comes here to vacation. The real gems come from the locals, so he's definitely taking notes and is invested in whatever the guy's saying.
What's your humans? Just yours normally?
My human is 30.
And then you have anthropology, I'm assuming?
I have anthropology at 70. Yeah.
Okay. Anthropology at 70. You have done these interviews with all kinds of cultures and all kinds of places, and you practice on your friends. And when you were an undergrad, you had to go do the thing. And as a graduate student, you've done supervised work. You know how these things should go. Mm-hmm. And as this situation goes on, we'll say about the time that Chuck finishes his like artery clogging Thunderburgers, bringing them out, like you're not gonna be like this with your hands, right? It is a tower of processed food that is drooling chili down the sides of it. It is a volcano of American 45-year-old man, big gut, heart disease. Like, this is the kind of thing that if you show it to Europeans, just like the image of it, that will make them vomit. Like, how could you possibly eat that? Easily, Dr. West, you can look at that and be like, that is 7,000 calories and 4 million% your daily value of grease.
As a doctor, I cannot recommend you eat any of these.
So he's approaching this as you're finally wrapping it up. So he's handing out the food, and at this point is why the conversation dies down once you actually kind of start to digest it. But here's the thing. In all of your interviews and for all of his enthusiasm, you develop that gut feeling for when it seems like someone's being coached.
Okay.
That there's just something a little too fluid about it. And there's something a little too easy about how like you'll be trying to probe at a specific thing, maybe like trying to tease out the difference between the crop circle things and the missing time things. And with just incredibly deft, he steers away from sub-subjects by being really enthusiastic about another thing. And you have just heard so many people going through this oral history stuff that you can see right through it. But here's the thing. He also seems genuine.
Okay.
it's not like somebody when like they're lying and they're like trying to come up with it and like they look to the side or whatever and like or has to like stumble over details.
Yeah.
He has a total mastery of all the information and is also deliberately pushing the topic into certain areas, trying to box you in.
Yeah, and I would like to add that during that process, you're supposed to kind of let the interviewee lead and be cognizant of like trauma or sensitive areas. So it's like a very, very gentle probing, but then Southerland empathically would be like, okay, he doesn't want to talk about this. I'm not pressing. This is an outsider's, like maybe there's something to that, so we're going to go this way. So he's super okay with the conversation being led away, but will probe on occasion. But just to add to that,
he's happy to talk to you all day long about how the crop circles at Bo Laramie's place are just like Bo got a board and went out in the middle of the night because he wanted to charge people $10 to come look at his field. And $20 with inflation, right? The stuff about UFO lights, totally standard. Everyone in town has seen them. Take that for whatever you will. Did they actually see them, or is like, oh, everyone's seen them? Doesn't matter. Chopper sightings, back and forth, whatever. He gets the livestock mutilations and alterations mixed up. Never once will engage with you about missing time. And never ties down specific names.
That one would probably slip me, but definitely noting the vagueness on choppers and missing time for sure. No names, I wouldn't.
Does probing him about the names at the bottom of our list mean it like, oh yeah, we had some one of our contacts here gave us some names of folks in the area to talk to, and so like asking about Alan Barn, Thomas Jacobs, Hartwright, Anderson. Does he know any of those people?
Yeah, because that is the town board of aldermen.
Oh.
Those are the county aldermen. You're like, oh yeah, I mean, what? Oh, I see what happened. They told you, oh, you should talk to Alan or Barn or Thomas or Jacobs. I mean, any one of the aldermen can help you. They're all at large. We don't do districts here, but they're responsible for liaison running city and county government. Yeah. I mean, Barn, that's Merle Barn.
Oh, like Merle's country bunker.
Yeah,
Merle's
like
shut
signs
eye,
my fucking checks, Merle Barn. Yeah.
That Merle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think his family came into some kind of money way back when, like mineral rights. I don't know the details about it, but no, he owns a whole bunch of this town. But yeah, they all run the joint pretty well. I mean, you notice we got good streets. All the traffic lights are on. The school's pretty nice. They do a good job.
Is there an easy way to get in contact with them?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, ring up City Hall. I'm sure they'd be happy to help. Or Christine, she runs the front desk there. I mean, she probably get you in touch with them. I don't tend to have to deal with Mr. Merle, Mr. Barn, unless it's payday, but I'm sure they could help you out in an official capacity. Since you all are, UFO investigators, I can't just be like, come meet my buddy, right? That'd be some kind of conflict of internet or whatever.
Conflict of internet?
Great. That sounds exactly like something Chuck would say. Yeah.
You've got Chuck pegged.
Yeah.
Are you actually gonna eat this food?
Yeah, I'm 100% Agent Southerland is trying and is not going well. It is like
definitely cannot. And I mean, like it. I will say this much: if Agent Sutherland's going to try to pick it up with his hands, I will let each of you decide if you just watch this to see what happens, or if someone steps in to rescue him from himself.
Oh no, I watched this happen.
I am sorely curious as to what's going to happen. Is this going to be like a Scooby-Doo moment? Is his jaw going to unhinge and then he's going to eat this thing?
Yeah.
I was curious of trying it myself too. So like, I don't know where I'm at on that.
I think I eat some of it, but like as a doctor being like, this is a normal, healthy portion of it, because I maybe haven't eaten that much today because I was on a plane this morning. So,
No way. This is participant observation. We do like the locals do. I'm eating this burger badly.
Let's say that it's like one of those, it's kind of burger that like if you went to a steakhouse, if you eat the entire thing in under an hour, it's free. Like it's that amount of food. Like 8 patties, there's an entire like Kraft single stack of cheese on it. Like it is incredible.
Jojo is so happy right now.
Yes. Chili, egg, onion, mushroom, lettuce, tomato, everything. Like Dr. West, if you were to like, you could probably get the vegetables out for like a third of a serving, and then the rest of it you could have maybe like 4 forkfuls before like you can see in your head like your daily salt meter just like spike. I will say that your best attempts to pick it up are into 2 problems. One, the buns at this point have just been taken over by grease. It's not structurally sound anymore.
They're like grease sponges at that point.
Yeah, like the overfilled Chipotle burrito problem, where there's no way to maintain the structural integrity of this food. And then second, like you would need to open your jaw, like, you know, it's not gonna happen. But you probably get one good bite in before the whole thing just kind of like collapses into a pile of salt, fat, and beef on the plate.
Right on. Definitely would try to take a bite, but would shoot for like just one of like the random pieces of beef, like one of the random patties, and just try to take a bite out of like a top-ish patty, just one. It's awful.
And I'll tell you this much, it's fucking good.
Yes.
Like it's horrible for you, but this is like local raised beef, local raised garden vegetables, nothing coming out of a can. The cheese they have to get from somewhere else, but like it's fucking good. You maybe next time you come back to this town, order one that you can all split together. But
probably a good idea.
Yeah. Just because I'm curious, are these more like smash burgers, or are they like full on like thick patties?
No, it's like a real patty, like the Hardee's 1/3 pound, like nice patty.
Your poor arteries, Agent Southerland.
It would take an act of phenomenal willpower to actually eat the whole thing. Like you gotta come prepared for this, otherwise forcing your body to do it, eventually it will revolt.
While Agent Southerland is while Agent Sutherland is undertaking this task, I will also ask Chuck if he knows Spivey, and also his friends, because we're looking to interview those folks as well. We just don't have names.
Yeah, so on the topic of Spivey, he does get a little suspicious because coming into town for UFOs and then asking about the murderer and who his friends are, you see a flash of him like and then I mean it's there for like a second and a half before just like switch flicks and he goes back to county host. And he says, well, I mean, you know what happened with Spivey, this doesn't reflect well on us, but I can tell you that no one else in town is like that. I'm honest to God, I don't know what's wrong with the man. I mean, some people just something snaps. His friends, none of whom have distinguishing important names, they I can't remember if they does today the beer day or not. I mean, if you want to find them, I mean, they'll hang out up at the reservoir about 9. If they're going to be together, that's where they are. I mean, they should have been here by now if they were coming through. I haven't seen them, but that just, you know, maybe tonight's not a drinking night. Hard to keep track of folks around here. You know, it's not like we got a big old nightlife where everyone comes into town, but the reservoir is where you find them if you find them at all.
Sure. One other question. I've my cousin, she told me that she has like a friend of a friend of a friend whose third cousin lives here, which is actually why we kind of came through. Her name is Jane Allen, and I haven't been able to find her. Have you seen her recently?
Roll your I am telling bullshit skill.
I know, I don't remember what that is. What is my bullshit skill?
Roll for bullshit.
That would be I'm looking at it. Could try persuade, but that's not really the one I'm looking for. bullshit artist comes up in many cases. I guess I'll take any kind of social skill that you have, because I'll assume you phrase it a certain way. But as you are obviously lying about this,
I mean,
you'll need to do something.
I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, weirdly, his character's not built to be super social. I don't suppose humint is anything that you would allow for that.
You can give it a shot. On the basis that knowing how to interrogate people, you are able to come with a better lie than she's my third cousin's best friend.
No, I can't, because I rolled a 67. So.
He at this point is no longer capable of hiding his suspicion, because you're talking about something that nobody outside of town knows. So going from friendly to, I don't know that I've come across that name here. Man, what'd you say your name was?
Sarah.
Sarah who?
North.
All right, yeah. I'm sorry, Miss North. No, I don't know anything about that. But you can all enjoy your meal, and when you know that you can check the registry, yeah?
Sure.
My burger falls apart.
Just like dramatic fashion.
As he walks away, I have split my burger into 4 piles. This is how it's feasible to eat this burger, and I start trying.
That explains the burger. Like, Chuck saw a thing on meal prep, but didn't realize you weren't supposed to put it all into one food. He just had a week worth of food that he made into a single food.
It's I guess it is good meal prep to have it ready for multiple days. So are we right now? I was actually expecting others to be here, but he said no one has come by.
None of Spivey's friends have come by. Okay. There are locals coming in, coming out. The town is not super populated, so it's not a constant string. But over the course of the last half hour, you'd have one or two, gentlemen coming in, whatever, buying a case of beer, and then a woman and a kid come in, get a gallon of milk and some candy, take off, that kind of thing. Someone coming in, picks up a to-go order, heads out. It is being trafficked. It's just that Spivey's friends are not here.
That's really suspicious to me. I know our next place we were going to go haunt was the reservoir, but part of me's worried they're not there. Part of me's worried that they are there and something is wrong. Part of me's not sure we should go there at night. And while that is an avenue we could definitely and should investigate, we do have another option in seeing Spivey's mother. I'm putting that on the table for everyone to consider.
I mean, what does the good doctor think?
I think she's still very much of that we should at least check out the reservoir. I don't know how much help I would be with talking with Spivey's mother. But again, it is what we all want to do. But I can also understand the whole maybe we shouldn't do this at night thing in an unfamiliar area.
You have the room. It is totally acceptable for you to just go and sleep, collate your notes and stuff and kick at it again in the morning.
Also, did we want to try to get that radio transceiver thing to maybe narrow down radio signals?
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea. So we can head back to the room and I can put in that request and...
You gonna ask your Fed friends for help with the body?
Probably. Yeah.
We could do that. That wouldn't be too difficult. I mean, I'm assuming right now we just locked the door, or maybe not locked it, but shut the door and left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we do have to get the body out before, the payment comes due, which is soon. So, yeah.
And I would like to take more of a look at whatever samples of the blood jello stuff. I'm not sure if I could send that to anybody to get like a chemical analysis.
I don't have a medical lab around.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think I have a lab that I could run like a chemical analysis for this.
No, I mean like the basic stuff. Like, is there blood on this?
Yes.
Like small stuff that you could fit inside of a just a travel kit you could probably have. And from that it will tell you, I mean, kind of what you already know. There's water and blood and something wrong. But sending it out for more analysis, it means you have samples, you can give them to the people when they show up. Yeah,
that was kind of my idea, of just being like, this goes to the super secret blacklist lab that nobody knows, but this is weird. This is weird things. Treat it like weird things.
Quick question.
Yeah.
What is the GTE?
In reference to what?
I'm looking at the map. I'm trying to figure out where we can get equipment in town, so we don't have to wait for everything.
I do not recall. I think that might be a gas station or something like. But to your question, it is not critical to the game.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
One of them flavory things. Well, how about this? We will give your characters a break as they settle in and sleep. We will give ourselves a break as we go in, grab a snack, refill all our water bottles and such. We will come back in approximately 10 minutes. Hopefully none of us suffer from missing time. And then when we come back, we can talk about what happened overnight, and then go into the morning. Yeah?
Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Kate's got a smile, innit?
They are the angels, brought and held together as children by their status as outcasts and freaks. Imaginative and tormented, Thomas has suffered greatly under the care of his foster family. How far would you go for release, for salvation?
Goth culture was the perfect escape for young, rebellious Gabrielle. Now she's traded her innocence for alcohol, tattoos, and an abusive ex.
Michael couldn't fight his way out of that basement, and he's been doubling down on violence ever since. When being strong isn't enough, where else do you go?
Teenage Tarla leaned hard into the outcast persona, using her hair as a mood ring. Now she's buried trauma, and with it, the capacity to love and trust.
Ralph wasn't always a conspiracy-obsessed deep web denizen. What happened that turned a fantasy-loving book nerd into something much, much worse?
Will these bonds hold true when they're reunited for sinister purpose in adulthood? Find out in His Last Hope, a story of lost friendships and childhood traumas for Cult Divinity Lost.
Welcome back, friends. We are back from our break. Everyone is hydrated, happy, and has visited the little storyteller's room or the little player's room. Everything is set to go. As I recall, the last thing that the group decided was that they were going to depart the country bunker. Question for me, are you taking like a to-go? I want to say doggy bag, but like the grease would probably ruin the bottom of the bag. So maybe like a doggy crate or a doggy box.
We have a microwave in the room, so I would definitely take at least half that burger with me.
But is there a fridge?
Oh, that's a good question. Is there a fridge?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I imagine.
If it's important to get the burger in the room to make you happy, Agent Sutherland, then there is a fridge in the room.
Look, in like 2 hours, when I'm throwing it at some eldritch horror, you'll thank me. Okay.
The food of the fridge, because you know what? Let's wait for that to come up.
Mm-hmm.
So you take your food to go. It gets packed into they have the to go burger styrofoam boxes. If you take all the food you haven't eaten, you have like 20 of them.
Cool.
Just like it's a lot.
At least a box or two in case anybody else would want some.
Of course. I don't think Dr. West, based on her macro targets, is allowed to eat for the next 4 or 5 days, having partook of the burger. But that is between Dr. West and her nutritional goals. I'm not gonna step on someone's educated medical advice. You can make your own decisions. Now, you placed a phone call to the regional office of the FBI. You requested the direction finding equipment. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything? And I know I suggested it. I want to make sure you actually did it before we talk about it. Did you ask them to come deal with the body?
Yes.
Yes.
Because we don't want to leave that to local, and at this point, it's it just needs to get taken care of.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not a local, so him just leaving town be a little strange, but not crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to hand off any of the samples and stuff for like full analysis.
Mm-hmm. So you will wake up. I'm guessing like professionals, you set an alarm. Are we like a 6 o'clock group? Or are we like a 7, 8, 9?
Oh, I'm 5 a.m. every day.
Yeah, I feel like I'm also like maybe a 6.
And then Agent Southerland is like, "What is this morning thing? I have studied a great many cultures, but do not understand before noon."
Definitely would be the last one to wake up for sure, without a doubt.
Oh, sorry, God, gross. Can't leave that on camera. And sorry, I just had like one of those like little pieces of lip skin hanging, and I got it, and I was like, oh my god, hundreds of people will be able to see me do this, and now it's like I'm so self-conscious about like the. Anyway, so you place this call before going to sleep. There's a few hours if you come back from the restaurant, maybe 7 or 8, so you do have time to go over evidence, recollate your thoughts, and form a plan. You make the call. The couriers will arrive in the morning. There is a government sedan, government plates, 2 agents inside. They arrive at the location. As we mentioned, the one clerk here is the only one who works, so you are fortunate in that she is not working the desk when these people arrive. Immediately, well, so first of all, are you like waiting for them? What's the sitch? Like, you're gonna hang out in the lobby and what?
I mean, I feel like we should probably be there,
Yeah,
just in
that's
case
probably a good
moving the
idea.
body uncovers anything underneath it. Because I don't know, obviously wasn't in the room, but I can assume that Dr. West didn't go digging around underneath the body once it was in the bathtub, even once all of the stuff was down the drain. So
Very cautious.
Mm-hmm. Then yes, you'll be waiting in the lobby. When those agents arrive, they exit with a Pelican case for one that has direction equipment. It's the kind of thing that you'd move a gun or sensitive equipment in. The kind of like box that has the not styrofoam. What is that called? It's like the foam infill. It's a board game thing people understand, but it's like that. Like that has about the size of a suitcase. Comes with its own battery pack and its own little computer to go with it. They bring a duffel bag. Like a large, like actual on your back duffel bag, not like a teehee duffel bag. And then before you can ask any questions or like that, they are emphatic that you should go inside.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this out of public view. The one of them asks, which of you is Dr. West? All right, great to meet you. They are a little too crisp professional, and you get the same vibe talking to them that you get talking to Agent Eastman. That these are not just normal FBI agents.
Yeah.
And the one of them who is in charge, as they're having this conversation, the other 3 of you will see this. The other one has opened up the duffel bag and is putting on like a full no shit biohazard suit, like the whole bubble costume thing. And he goes, excellent. We were able to get back samples as you requested, but the situation has developed in a pretty unique way. Whatever is inside Spivey, we were not able to determine its origin. We don't know how it works, but there is definitely something unusual, kind of like their cover word for alien or unnatural. Yeah. About his physiology. Now we don't know how it works, but we were able to create a substance that will detect it if it is present. And it points over to the duffel bag situation, where now the man who was in his full hazmat suit has produced several vials of it's translucent, but it's kind of goopy, so it's clear, maybe like a very clear glue. If you tilt it up and down, it'll stick to the walls, or like a cocktail syrup, maybe that kind of thing. So we've made it in just enough quantity. You can mix it with water to dilute it and spray it. You can apply it directly, but that's gonna help you figure out where these things are. Has anyone here been exposed to the fluid?
I raise my hand.
Yeah, sweet.
Immediately taking a big step back. Have you been exhibiting any strange signs of behavior, any odd metabolic consequences? No missing time for any of you, right?
No, sir.
No, sir.
None at all.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to keep us appraised of that because, I mean, we don't know what we're dealing with, but we do know that one person who was exposed to it turned into a psychopath killer. So here's the thing. You have a phone from your agent, your handler. Just the 3 of you were exposed?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Southerland, would you take that phone, And this man walks over to you, and like, you know that like really intense like state trooper look, like been pulled her over on the highway, and you're not from this state, and they're about to make your life a living hell.
I do.
The most dead serious eyes looking in your face. He says, "You are responsible for this phone now, and I want you to imagine that this phone connects to a robot answering service on the other side of the planet, right?
Okay.
And that robot answering service has a detonator or a gun in its hand.
Okay.
And if you call that number, then that bomb's gonna go off, or that gun is gonna go off, right?
Okay.
If any of your friends here start showing symptoms, you're gonna call that number so we can make the bomb go off or the gun go off. You understand? This is a metaphor. I don't want you to go start in your luggage. You got work to do. But it is your responsibility now, as the only person here who was not exposed to whatever this is, to observe the mission.
Are we like, we're off to the side, right, from everyone?
Oh, no, having this conversation in front of all
It's super in front of everybody? Okay.
Yeah.
He'll kind of like take it, and like we'll just kind of press his lips tightly, like his face tightens, and just kind of nods.
And
I look at Sutherland like in full view, and I give him a thumbs up, like, "You got this."
I'll give him a nod.
I don't.
Well, yeah, because you're on the other side of the bomb or the gun.
Kind of just does like a very curt, like,
no,
nod,
come on, kid.
nod,
Like
nod.
eyes right here, right? This is your first time. But here's the thing, and here's why this is deadly serious. Because we talk about the mission. You're here to solve this problem, whatever's going on, right? Now it's in your friends. And what I'm telling you is you can call that number when they become the mission. And if you don't find the wherewithal to do that, if you decide you're going to hide something from us, you are also the mission. That's the choice you have. You can call us to stop something happening with them, or you can not call us and we'll assume it's got you too. Am I being perfectly clear here? That's the stakes.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Dr. West, I will go over this chemical thing with you. We'll talk about that. And then the other agent who has not said anything just looks over, gives an up nod. The guy nods back, and he looks at, I don't know, let's see, Agent Eastman, and says, "Show me to the room, please."
Gladly. And I start taking him to the room.
He brings the duffel bag with him. When you get in there, he doesn't care if you watch or not, but this is not a take the body out in a body bag situation. There are various powders and chemicals being pulled out. They're going to deal with this body in their own special way. You, being a CIA person, are probably familiar with this, and it's probably for the better that no one else was in the room for it. Whether you want to stay and assist is up to you.
I'm a professional. I know he's doing his job. I shut the door behind him, and I just stand outside waiting for any signal from someone.
Excellent. So while that is going on, Agent North, the person who has just threatened Sutherland's life, if he doesn't tattle on either of you, will go over the direction finding equipment and explain its basic operations. It's nothing you're not familiar with, but it's just, a matter of professional courtesy. It will take roughly 10 or 15 minutes for the body disposal person to dispose of the body. Leaving after with a container. I don't want to say it's not like a milk jug, but have you ever seen like the jar that like protein shakes come in with the big screw off top? A couple of those, taking them out. They look heavier than when he brought them in. And that's it. Assembling it up quick and professional. The lead agent will ask, is there anything else we need to know before we go back? Anything at all?
Me thinking out of character, like, is there anything particular that we definitely need to pass on?
Have we reported the weird thing on top of his head that is now missing? Scott's head.
Yeah, you only explained that you were exposed to the agent. So as far as I am interpreting it, you didn't tell them about the bathroom explosion or the fleshy ball. You just said that you were exposed.
Yeah, and I will also hand over any samples I have, and then the bag that has the suit in it. Because anything that can pull from that, And then I will fill them in on this is what we saw, this is what happened, because as a doctor, I know you need all of the information.
Mm-hmm.
The more information you have, the more like you can to solve and or contain whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Given that approach, if you're being a little open and honest about it, then Southerland and Dr. West, they will have the conversation kind of with you. We'll say this is happening as like Agent North is like trying to just go through the equipment. Agent Eastman, maybe you're still working with or guarding the door so the housekeeper doesn't come in and find them dissolving someone in lye or whatever. We'll pull you kind of out into the hallway and say, this stuff, we're calling it proto-matter. I have no idea how it works. It gets inside of you and then it rewrites cells, rewrites organs, whatever. The thing that made Spivey strong was this stuff.
That was all over me.
So, yeah, it reacted to all kinds of stimuli, electricity to UV to whatever. Is it sentient? I don't know, but it reacts, like it moves, right? That's what you're dealing with.
Good to know.
That explains the fleshy lump. That, based on their description of what they found in Ivy, it was a lump of solid protomatter.
Spivey.
Or Spivey, yeah, sorry. Because it's Shane Ivy and Ivy LaRue, and now it's Spivey, and it's that was what was in Scott Adams. This fleshy ball that you thought was flesh was the protomatter no longer being needed in the dead body and trying to find a place to go. Is how that's the best explanation that you're going to be able to come up with based on what's there.
Yes, and also to be completely honest, I will also tell him about, especially the whole going into the water supply and my concern as a doctor that the water supply may be contaminated in some way.
Do we need to quarantine the town? Is it that big a deal?
I don't think yet, but one of the things I want to do today is I want to check the reservoir. And if since I now have the ability to test for this, if I test that there is any in like the reservoir or anything like that, we will definitely need to quarantine the town just in case. But for now, I think it's a good idea to not just so we don't cause a panic.
Okay. Look, you're the experts. You're the field team. You get to make the call. We lose contact with you. If something goes wrong, we'll make our own decisions at that point. But for now, you're what we got.
Yeah, the moment I am sure that this water supply is contaminated and people have maybe been ingesting it for weeks, then I will call for a quarantine.
Sounds good to me. So they will depart with the leftovers in tow. Not your leftovers; those are still in the fridge. Now, this substance, just mechanically speaking, and we can say that they demonstrated this for you by diluting a bit of it. Whenever it finds protomatter, it reacts, it turns purple. And then the more protomatter it finds, the more, the higher the concentration, the brighter the shade of purple. So when you had that little bit of blood in the vial, they would have put a little bit of stuff in there, and then it gets like a nice kind of like little, I want to say it's the color that like, the freeze pops that come in plastic tubes, like that color purple. Yeah. And then if it were way, way more, it would be like background lighting in a bisexual movie purple, right? That is the basics of how it operates. You have enough that you don't have to worry about running out of it. You can dilute it into a spray bottle. You can just wipe it on stuff with like a cotton swab or whatever. You could just pour it over your body however you want to use it. Don't worry about running out or how you would administer it is the point that I'll make as a GM.
Good to know.
And just to ease my mind, just diluting it in just a little bit of like sink water, just like pour yourself a glass, just a little bit. Nothing, no reaction there.
Oh, hell yeah, it reacts. Like you take a little bit of that, you drip that into the water at the tap, and like it doesn't go like nuclear, but you see a nice like swirling kind of. If you've ever dropped like imagine like taking a calcium, like a vitamin C tablet, and it has that orange. And if you dropped it in water, you'd get like little strings of it around because it wouldn't have diluted entirely. Yeah, you get that, but it's purple.
No.
As we kind of see.
What did you all order to drink at the restaurant?
I ordered water, but I don't think I actually drank any of it.
No, this was actually a thing in our chat. You can actually go and check the chat. I'm just like, I'm giving like my water the side eye.
It was suddenly like I ordered water, and then 30 seconds later I just went,
you know what?
Bad idea.
No water. I wanted to be like, I'm actually gonna get up and get myself a bottle of water because I don't trust this.
Yeah,
but there wasn't a good time for it, so I'm retconning that into existence.
I'm
now.
not gonna bust your balls over it.
Thank you.
I would have agreed with you with that, and I probably this morning would have definitely been like, no water from like anywhere. Any water we drink is bottled. Anything we drink is bottled. It does not come from here.
No.
The asshole Jim, like, oh yeah, you go to the store and it's all like local Spring Hills,
water.
bottled at that reservoir up the road. Like,
okay, great.
But that is not the case. You can have evil Nestle water, and it comes from
California.
Shipping water over the Rocky Mountains probably not so much, but there's definitely probably some local thing that is being pumped dry for pennies on the trillions of gallons.
Would definitely just out of habit if it's local, right? Just test it. Just because now I'm just a little.
Gonna open a bottle of water.
Yeah.
Crack one open.
Yeah.
Drop in there. No, nothing. You're fine.
Thank God. Okay, good.
Yeah. We now test everything we drink.
What are your lab skills like, though, Agent North? Do you have any science skills? Like above base?
Science, no, unfortunately. I have military science, but not science.
I have biology.
Yeah, and I imagine that would, in Dr. West's case, mean that you're capable of administering things in a laboratory environment without causing any kind of like spillage or whatever. Agent North, in your case, doing this without getting some of it on you, I don't know. What do you think? What are the odds? Name a percentage chance that you think there might be a...
Look if I can pour maple syrup out of a maple syrup bottle onto pancakes and not get it all over myself, I think I can pour some water in a glass and pour a drop of this stuff into a glass and not get it on myself.
Okay.
Right?
I'm asking you.
I'm not incompetent.
Okay.
But do you want to test yourself just to make sure?
So here's the thing. Is it worse to think but not be sure?
Or to know?
Or to know, yeah. Because I tell you what right now, I know Agent Logan is not going to fuck around with the test. Like, Agent Logan, Agent Eastman does not need to get the detecto chemical involved.
If I get super buff very quickly, let me know. Just let me know.
Fine. You know what? I'd rather know, because I guess it's just a question of like, okay, I mean, it's like if you get bit by a zombie, right? Like, okay, cool. I know I have a clock at that point. And eventually we're going to have to deal with it. But until then, we'll just, just keep an eye on me, I guess. Fine.
I will just essentially make like a squirt bottle with some mixed in with water and just kind of like spray it on your hand or something.
Yeah. Teeniest little bit of glow. Like, not serious, not doesn't the water like whoa on Agent North, little hint of it, almost imperceptible amount of purple.
Is it localized? Like, is it like if a Dr. West like sprayed on my neck, right, where I got some of it, like is it purple there, but like on my forearm it's not, right? Like, or is it just kind of like I just am faintly purple now?
A little bit of faintly purple. It is not localized.
I will also test myself.
You are actually not showing any of it at all. And what I will tell you, because you're a doctor, you've got the brain for this, that localized would say that it stayed in that area, right? the fact that it's not like real purple here but nowhere else, but kind of diffuse, suggests that whatever it is has spread throughout her body. When it comes to chemicals, you have like the LD50, right? Like, how much of this do I need to put in myself to kill myself with it? Maybe it works like that. Like, maybe if you only get a little on you,
you can get a little more buff, maybe.
Or is it like you need to have enough in you to like totally replace the thing without? I mean, like, God only knows how it works, but you get the sense that like a little bit, probably not good, but probably not awful.
Can we just like randomly like just squirt Eastman like as he's walking by, just like,
blast him.
I would think I mean, like, if you want to go about it, that is fine. I imagine there's a version where you ask Eastman for his consent, or
yes,
his opinion
probably
on it.
yes. Obviously, yes.
If everyone wants me to be tested, I'm convinced. I'm like, I have days until something weird happens to me, so I want to kind of figure that out. But if we want to make sure I'm not just a glowing, I'm going to start glowing as soon as you do it. Let's do it. It's better to learn now.
Better safe than sorry. Yeah. And then, getting your consent, I would, administer the test, the spray bottle.
Yeah, you give it a little bit of spritzing. Eastman take his shirt off, show off how the CIA people work out.
Yep.
And weirdly, it is diffuse. He does not light up like a big old Christmas tree. Skin has a slightly purple tinge to it, but nothing too crazy. And your biology is what?
60.
Yeah, 60% biology, and I'm guessing you got some forensics in there as well.
Forensics. I don't have any forensics, but I do have first aid, medicine, and pharmacy.
Between medicine, biology, and pharmacy, you would be able to come to the conclusion that if this stuff gets into you and rewrites your bits, it's not going to be on the outside.
Yeah.
So, is it bad? Who knows?
Yeah.
Eastman is definitely brighter than North, but it's not like a purple version of Dr. Manhattan, right? Like, it's not like the color of like She-Hulk's costume, right? Nothing like that. There's more, but not a huge amount that you might expect.
Would it have been possible to, maybe knowing this now, get some hazmat suits or something?
You can ask the guys, the agents. Yeah.
If it is possible, just in case. If we know we're going to come in contact with it at some point, where we can minimize any further contamination, spread, or outbreak.
Yeah.
I would also I would go, Doctor, do you think you could check me also, just in the interest of making sure our data is accurate? Maybe we missed something. Better safe than sorry.
I mean, in science, one always needs a control.
Right. I agree.
I will test Southerland.
Southerland appears fine. Haven't ingested any local water. Managed to steer clear of the explosion. So.
Yeah. Okay. And I would definitely ask about, just even if it's not like a full hazmat suit, just at least some better gear, like any kind of like face masks.
Well, let's handle it this way, because it's going to be kind of like weird in a GM standpoint if you ask for it and they drive 2 hours to Memphis and 2 hours back to do it, and you just sit around for for 4 hours with your collected thumbs in your asses. So we can say that you made that conversation part of last night, having witnessed this stuff. Hey, by the way, can you bring this gear?
Yeah.
Or I mean, it also makes sense that if they come bringing hazmat suits for themselves, that they would have just brought some for us, knowing that.
How bold do you think they care about you on that level?
Okay, all right. Well,
you're the mission now.
Right.
So yes, we will say that they are able to provide for you 2 suits. These things are kind of expensive. They're hard to requisition on
Yeah.
short notice, so they got 2.
Eastman, what do you think that the 2 that aren't already infected are going to claim the hazmat suits, and we're just kind of out on our own for that?
I would imagine that's probably the logical step for us to take, honestly. Worsening the effects, I don't think we're going to realistically find anything that's going to make it worse than it is. Oh.
Earthquake in
Earth,
the city.
the Earth is moving. Wow.
No, my dogs are moving the curtain. Excuse me.
Oh,
One second. I'll be right back. I want to take care of that.
Yeah, we're about to have a Wizard of Oz moment.
Yeah.
Paying no attention to the cat behind the curtain.
So as Agent Eastman handles that, I will point out a couple things with the suits. One, they're quite big, so it's possible that like Dr. West can wear it, get out of it, and give it to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Second, if you're looking for some ad hoc protection, like absolute worst case scenario, you could go like get saran wrap and just
And anything like people have things with full sleeves, do that. Double glove. Even if you have like a shirt that you can just tie around your face, something like that, just to minimize any, since it definitely seems to be skin contact. So something like that, and very much stress like you minimize any kind of skin contact. So if you have anything you can wear, long sleeves, anything that's got a high collar. We're gonna look really weird when we really get into this, because it's probably summer.
Well, yeah. I mean, we could, I don't know.
It's gonna look fucking weird if you wear a hazmat suit anywhere. Like,
yeah, we'll keep that in the SUV.
Like,
imagine
you being yourself in your house, and you look across the street, and 2 people wearing hazmat suits walk into your neighbor's house, and just take that feeling and then apply it to everyone in this fictional universe as well.
Get very concerned.
Fair.
So we have sorted out those basic mechanics, and now we can return to our set of clues, kind of like see what we got going on. There's reason to believe that Eastman and North are infected. We can use that word, that they've been exposed to protomatter. We don't know if there's like an amount of protomatter that makes things bad, but like it's there. The clues you got from yesterday. Well, now you have the stuff, and you can go to the reservoir, and like that's kind of in your pocket. What you want to do. You found out that the names on Scott Adams' list of people who never go home are the aldermen, which is weird. And the missing time stuff, also weird. That was the stuff that he was not at all talking about, always pushing away. Third thing, Jane Allen was here at some point, is not anymore. So those are 3 kind of like strings you can tug on depending on what your interests are.
Well, I mean, heading to the reservoir is, I think, the one that everybody's leaning towards right now.
Big sense of urgency there, huh?
Yeah.
So we like a better feeling of like, how bad is this?
Mm-hmm. Well, into the nondescript FBI mobile we go. Driving up onto the reservoir between Google Maps and a little bit of good old hand-fashioned land navigation skills, you will be able to arrive. The area in the reservoir, this is some Tennessee Valley stuff, essentially. So they would build dams in the, like, if you find a nice like U-shaped canyon, put a dam in there. Some of them are fed just by rain and allowed to build up. Some they have pumps where they'll like a stream that they pump up into it and then release it later for drinking water or for something, whatever. Most of these dams were built around the time of the Great Depression and then also in the 50s and 60s. So the amenities around them are the same way. So if you think about like National Park Cabin with the sign where they've like chiseled the letters in and painted them yellow, like that kind of vibe. If you've ever been to a county park, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Not the nice federal ones, but like a state park or something, or a recreation area. This reservoir is no different. It's not like especially large. You couldn't take a speedboat out on it. Like people can canoe around it. You could fish on it, but it's not really big enough for like full on water recreation, right? The area around it has some camping sites, and then there's the dock where you could take your little fishing boat out to go and whatever. There's no one present when you arrive if you're going straight up to where the public access would be. But the area does show signs of use. There's beer cans in the trash can. There is some littering. People are assholes. Signs of recent activity in the area. Yes. And I'm guessing the first thing that you want to do is walk directly to the reservoir and pour some of this shit in there and see what happens, right?
Test the water.
Okay. So take for a moment and think of the most purple thing you can possibly think of, right? And now pretend it is in the same room with like Prince, who has also gone and gotten a second doctorate in being purple, and that this whole thing got sucked into a purple black hole and spaghettified into the purple dimension and then like boomeranged back out into here. You will never see a color this intense in the remainder of your life. It looks like someone has actually just like painted reality around you. It dips into that uncanny valley thing where if you saw this color in a picture, you'd be like, that shit's photoshopped. Someone's made a render. Nothing in the world looks that color in real life. It defies the light coming down from the sun. It doesn't refract in water. It is just like raw essence of purple. Like someone took the concept purple and then just like dropped it directly into your eyeball, and the purple center of your brain lights up with realization of like final truth. You have seen the face of purple God, and it is purple.
It's a lot of
That's
purple.
really concerning.
Whoa. Okay. We should quarantine.
Which is going to be great for this backwater town. I'm sure they appreciated the quarantines from before. They'll definitely appreciate this one.
Let's talk about how you do that, because there are a couple ways that you could handle the situation, right? You could be like, bring the CDC in, let's go full outbreak with Cuba Gooding Jr. and I forget who the other main star is, and like hope to God someone finds the monkey. If you haven't watched that movie, finding the monkey is the big plot point that helps them solve the virus. It's a good movie. No, it's not. It's a bad movie, but it's a fun movie. Or you could just set up some roadblocks on the major ways out of town and be like, sorry, no one's leaving right now. Do you want to go like you can either just very like quietly around the borders of the area stop people from traveling, or you can bring this town's like Obama black helicopter federal government nightmare to life. Imagine a spectrum with those things, and then like where are we talking here?
I think just setting up roadblocks is good for now, because the whole point is we don't want people that aren't from here to come here right now, and we don't really want the people that are from here leaving here, especially if like everybody is infected with various degrees of protomatter.
Very well. Yeah,
I was going to say also, for maybe sake of calming down the town, we have two angles. One, a murderer just was caught from this town. Maybe there's some connections that we can't have people leave. And then we do have like a little bit of just federal agency. Like I don't know how far this can go, but I think I have like a 60 in bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I can like convince someone to like bring in some paperwork. To like convince them that like, hey, this is actually probably for the best for town, because it was the aldermen, right? The ones who never come home.
The aldermen,
Aldermen, yeah.
I mean, to be clear, they are elder white men, but alderman is
okay. All the wasp. But yeah, I say we can start this at City Hall, so we seem official. Then when we start blocking off the road, it's not just like the government showed up. No, your local government showed up. Yay.
And I mean, we are investigating possible drug stuff. Maybe we could say maybe that something with the drugs contaminated the water and we're worried about, its effects. And
It's always better to
And
hide
this
a lie
strange
in the
thing
truth.
that we're spraying everywhere is how we detect the drugs.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was actually about to say, I think that that's a really good angle. Like, take some of the reservoir water, right, with us, and just be like, okay, so here's the thing. This liquid detects this stuff. Watch what happens. If it turns purple, it's present, and then we can go from there.
I mean, we can even use just like, hey, you've got to sink it in the bathroom. Like, someone go get a cup of that and we drop it in and see, look, it's contaminated.
Do you know how much cocaine you have to put in the reservoir to do this? That is how many drugs are in your town.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Like, all the cocaine is... Sure. You got bureaucracy and enough bullshit in between, like, the humans and the bureaucracy and the medicine. Like, you could concoct a good story for that. So you intend to head to the city hall then now?
Assuming we don't see Spivey's friends dicking around.
Yeah.
Not at, like, 8 o'clock in the morning, no.
Yeah. I look at this town is going to hell in a handbasket. I don't know what people do.
Party all night, sleep all day.
How'd you sleep, Eastman? Just asking.
Can you say that again?
How'd you sleep?
How did I sleep? I am going to say Eastman is probably someone who sleeps. He knows the weird stuff. He knows of it. So being splashed with it, because I didn't know I was infected with it, I probably slept fine.
You can compartmentalize the trauma brain from the sleep brain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's the ability to be a professional allows me to accept the weird. If I started breaking down, I will break down hard. So I must never break down.
Oh my God, same though.
Fucking same.
Good.
Okie dokie. So on to the city hall then. Wow, like my Midwest upbringing is coming in super handy, and I think actually, like, I don't know how big the town that you live in, Ancient Eastman, is, but like, like the generic county seat building, like 2.5 stories tall, records in the basement, stuff on top. Just go Google like rural town hall or county hall or whatever, and you will find this building. It's square. It's always in the center of town. Like, there's a block around it with little streets and stuff. It is always 2 or 3 stories tall, built in that like old like colonial federal style, usually of brick. This is no different. Deserted as far as the parking lot is concerned. There are a couple cars. No one around, even as the rest of the town goes about its business. You're all entering together, yeah? So they're in through the front door, and there is a receptionist there. Maybe just turned 18 like 7 minutes ago by like the baby face nature. Mine would probably leap immediately. It's like, yes, one of the alderman's daughter needs a job and is now a $70,000 a year receptionist at the county building. Got it. That's how this works.
Sure.
I'm not the kind of person who would say that like it's fair to look at someone and say, based on how they look, they are dumb. But in this case, I'll make an exception because just like, if you get the feeling that if you shined a light into her eyes, like just like straight to the back, nothing there. Like you could like hello, and then like hello in the emptiness of her skull, like pleasant and bubbly, but just not like
just
mentally
nothing there. Lights on, no one's home.
Yeah. But if she sees you walk in, she will look up and just like with the most like southern, polite, genuinely like good, wholesome human being. And like, oh, hello, welcome to Groversville, the Groversville Administration Building.
I walk up, I smile. Well, hello. We're here on some official business regarding some nasty going-ons in your town, and I quickly pull out my badge as fast as possible so she can see it says federal government, and then I close it and put it away. And we'd like to talk to some of your city officials just to clarify what's all going on, if that be possible.
Oh, of course. We're more than happy to cooperate with the federal authorities. Do you have an appointment?
Unfortunately, no, I haven't been able to make an appointment. This has been kind of sudden. So, just kind of rolled into the town last night, got some sleep. I'm trying to facilitate that now, so anything you can do for me. And I kind of just give her a wink.
Oh, I appreciate that, but it's a very professional and orderly service here. Alderman Cartwright has made sure of that. The alderman will only see people by appointment.
This is an emergency. Are you sure there's nothing that can be done?
I'm sure I could, in emergency fashion, make you an appointment. Yes. When would you? Are you available? And she starts flipping through a little booking calendar thing. Are you available in? I think we could see you 2 days from now at 3 p.m.
I don't think that's going to quite work.
Do you understand what an emergency means?
Oh, yes, and we're more than happy to cooperate with the federal authorities in any of these matters. It's just that the town is very, very, very busy, and the aldermen have a great many responsibilities, and we're going to need you to make an appointment. You don't need a human. This is fucking weird. Like you are talking to a poorly constructed chatbot.
Yeah.
Like the one that like Microsoft made, imagine that before the internet and Twitter made it racist and they had to shut it down. Like you are talking to Clever Child on AIM right now. That is a reference that has made me very old.
No, I get it. I remember it.
I understand.
Yeah.
They're like
that just means all of us are old.
Yeah, but there's like a 20-year-old chat like, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, anyway.
What's AIM?
Oh gosh. That happens. That's happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. No, it's never fun. You're like,
the eldritch horror of age has infested the game.
Sorry, but we've got to put that in the content warnings.
You got anything?
So, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm getting this. She is trying hard to not get us to go further. She's the only one here. And I kind of just look up and like, that's a shame. No one we can just kind of pop in and say hi to?
No, I mean, everyone here is very, very busy, and that's why we handle everything for appointments, to make sure that all the needs of our constituents and the county residents can be met appropriately. I'm happy to make you an appointment, and she's flipping through the same thing again, just repeating the exact same steps. Would you be free 2 days from now at 3 p.m.?
1 moment. Can we huddle together, team?
Yeah.
We'll be right back. And I want to go outside. I don't want her to be able to hear anything. Outside. I don't think anything is going on in there, but I also don't want to make sure that someone's not listening in.
Yeah.
So,
well, why don't you do this? You go outside, and why don't you all roll alertness for me?
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was coming.
4. On 80, by the way.
89.
Yeah.
I got a 20 out of.
Okay.
And 89 out of.
I can see by your face the 89 is not out of 90, Agent Eastman.
Nope. It's not good.
If I come up with a 00 and a 9, is that a 90 or a 9?
That's a 9.
That's a 9.
Then I got a 9 out of 20.
Okay, so I need Agent North, Agent West, and Agent Southerland. Can you roll sand for me?
Oh no. Oh no.
97.
Lose 1d4.
24.
That's okay. 1 if you pass. 1d4 if you fail.
My sand is at 51.
Agent Southerland.
I rolled 70 and a 0, so flat 70 out of 74.
Yep. Okay, so just take 1.
Okay.
Because here's the problem. You go out, and Agent Eastman is like, let's do a huddle, and you're looking around. And have you... Let's see. I almost made a very obscure reference. I stopped myself. Everyone who can see you is watching you. And it's not like they're all looking at the people who came here. It is like, imagine that you've walked into like a bank or whatever, and like for some reason you're very suspicious, and all the cameras, no matter their angle, are following you. And that's this feeling that like there's a person walking their dog and they're like crossing this, and then they just like this at you. And there's a person who's got like there's a window cleaning. There's someone's cleaning the window in front of their shop, and like the squeegee's moving up and down, and they're just staring through the window at you. Any human being who you can see is not even trying to hide it, staring. And we're talking 2 or 3 dozen human beings.
Maybe now's the time for the black helicopters.
Are animals doing the same? I mean, I know I don't. I'm obviously too.
Is there like a dog?
ready.
Oh, no, animals, no. The dog's like, come on, there's a fire hydrant right there. Come on. And in fact, that makes it even weirder because this dog is like straining at the leash to go do a thing, and the person holding it just arm out.
Oh, it's worse now. It's worse now.
It's worse.
It's worse now. It's worse now. Go back.
That's collaborative storytelling right there.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So, is it? What's going on?
Yep.
And I'll
What's
just
happening?
point at the people so he's aware.
Could have just said we're being watched and spared Eastman the trouble of that, but Eastman, now I guess you can roll sand too. You see this.
You're in it.
Obviously,
you're in it with the
just
rest
like
of us.
so.
It's not
Obviously
fair. It's
unnatural.
not fair for the rest of us to suffer and for Eastman not to. So
I got a 6.
Yeah, so just take 1.
Okay.
I lost 2 for whatever it's worth. I didn't declare that earlier, but I only lost 2. So
Don't run into 2. I just dropped the dice. I know.
again,
Yeah, I'm. My dexterity is my personal dump stat. Followed by I think wisdom, then strength and constitution. Really, I'm an int charisma build. Just
yeah, you are, aren't you? Yeah.
okay. No, I mean, then, yeah, okay. So yes, you'll take 1d4 if you failed that roll, or just 1 if you passed it. But it is just like it's creepy. That's the only way. It's unnerving, creepy.
I don't like this. I don't like anything about this. This behavior happened as a direct result of us coming into this building.
Yep.
Not
So we can-
well. Did it? Do we know that? Do we have we none of us have been paying attention to notice if people have been staring at us everywhere we've gone. It's
There's
just as we walk outside, that's when we notice it.
There's a general level of just like, if you're a CIA agent, then like you're watching your surroundings. I mean, apparently not this one time, but you would, when you were in the grocery store, the country bunker last night, that was not this. When you came into this building, all those people were around, they were normally moving, everything was fine. It was not this. This is new.
So the connection is either this building, and I look behind me just looking at it, or it's the fact that we went to the reservoir. I'm going to more inclined to say the building. However, we can't rule out the reservoir.
Oh,
I'm
God.
going-
I just
Hold
had.
that thought. I have not heard from Agent Southerland in a while.
Sorry,
And
go
I'm
ahead.
assuming that they have been there's a searing enigma twisting around in Agent Southerland's head that I desperately want to know about.
Agent, I would say, in a prior dig of mine, part of the ruins fell out, the bottom fell out, and there was an obelisk that we had found that had like an oily like material. Actually, it was right before signing up with Delta Green, and it was just kind of like a viscous kind of material, not super dissimilar. I put it in my report and just went about my way till I got the call to join up with this, but after you say that, and kind of nervously kind of looks around and goes, I don't know. I feel like we shouldn't discount perhaps something from the reservoir. Maybe it serves as like I don't know. I feel like the fluid, it might have a connection, and now that we're kind of sharing the information, maybe it's, I don't know. I feel like the town's kind of onto us a little bit.
I get that, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that as well.
Hinge in on something, because you mean the town's people, not to suggest the town is like a sentient hive mind.
What he's not so cuckoo saying is he kind of feels that the water might have its thinking back to how reactive the proto matter was, that when we added like water to it, it like reacted positively and started moving. It feels like he almost wants to say, but he's still grappling with reality and not being exposed to it. So it's like, maybe just it's something in the water that's making people strange, which we know, but he's not saying out loud. Maybe once we went and introduced ourselves to the reservoir, the water, the viscous material, that it kind of, we clued in perhaps the proto matter of our existence.
Like a bit of a hive mind.
Hive mind. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
He's not super saying it out loud for fear of it becoming a reality, but he's kind of.
I get what you're saying, and
he's kind of
nodding.
He's kind of like trying to get the message across that that's the way he feels.
That's the classic Lovecraft quote that I'm going to butcher a little bit, is like it's by the grace of God that the human mind cannot correlate all of its contents. And like sometimes the fact that you can't draw those connections is what keeps you from just losing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Raises the question what we're going to do about it. Eastman, is this the topic of the conversation you wanted to have when you came outside to huddle?
No, the conversation I was originally going to have included us doing a little bit of government shadow work. But now that the whole town seems to be aware of us in this capacity, the only thing. So, what is everyone's plan? What do we want to do at this point? Because I don't trust anyone in town at this point.
I don't either.
And if we just come in with the government, maybe we stop the situation. Maybe we make it worse. I don't know. The only thing that gives me some idea of someone who might be neutral in this exact situation is Spivey's mother, because something happened that caused an aggressive event that we don't know why. If there is some kind of, and I kind of just scan the people, something telling everyone what to do, I don't know what would cause the aggression. Does that kind of track?
No, that does make sense.
Because nobody here has punched you through the chest or punched your head off. That's yet. I mean, let's not rule anything out.
Unless anyone has anything else, I say we at least get out of the public eye.
It's a very good idea.
If we could maybe get back to the car, I think I have something else. But maybe just somewhere a little more private.
Agreed.
For what it is worth, I will tell you that they're not approaching you.
Sure.
They've stopped and continue to watch, but like you're not being menaced in like people coming at you kind of way.
Can we step into somewhere like our car for a second?
Yeah. Something about this reminds me of a movie I saw once.
So once we get back into the car, Agent Southerland, having spent a little time the previous night, i.e. the 10-minute break, pulls out on his phone the document that is SZET, And he reads and quotes. He goes, you can see he's scrolling. He goes, okay, listen to this. I was going back through the notes that we found, and it says, and I quote, but if conscious is omniparent, or just is, or if consciousness we shall say is on an open network, we would expect in one or more of the languages the word for choice to contain the binary code. And he kind of waves his hand, some gobbledygook, and then says, you will see if we read across the word reason in English, it would say re as on. And he'll kind of click his phone and goes, I know it sounds like a lot of nothing, but to me, I interpret that there is someone believes, perhaps in the belief of a omnipresent consciousness, and perhaps a certain amount of exposure leaves the binary code as on. Maybe certain people who are exposed enough is like an active receiver, and so maybe once we've activated the receptionist, I don't know, he's like shaking a little bit. He goes, it alerted the local area around us. But until we walked in, he's shaking, and they didn't know. But once we went to a first degree of separation from the alderman, from daddy, she said, it was almost like now the focus was on us. And so I feel like maybe the reservoir is the key to this binary consciousness, this always on landline almost, which maybe we can nullify the water and cut the connection, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I had maybe a bit of a theory that maybe there's something in it, like whatever is causing this proto-matter is spawning from something in the water. Who knows what it is, but it's connected. So, I mean, if we can figure out, how to destroy this proto-matter, maybe we can drop it in the reservoir and maybe we'll kill it at the source.
But I think we should, I don't know if we should block the whole town.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't look like we were going to get anything bureaucratically done, and as Agent North said, it's probably not a good idea to call in the government either, at least at this point. If it gets worse, I feel like we should, but right now, if we can get it done without causing too much of a fuss.
What, you don't want to go talk to the alderman anymore?
No.
What you just said about binary and a signal and then kind of sending it. Adams was recording radio signals. We have the equipment to kind of triangulate things. Maybe that's a less interaction thing that we can do to find the source.
Because
maybe
interacting
that's
with
part
the town.
of the code.
Maybe it is. Because I mean, my biggest worry is that Spivey's mother is already contaminated by whatever this is, and so she's not going to tell us anything.
Yeah. And that would stand to reason. It's just the worry that I had, well, not worry, the confusion was why the sudden aggression, especially to his... That's the question.
Yeah, it is a great question.
So I would say maybe for a moment, since we know the eyes are on us, we take a moment to just assess this signal. Maybe we can learn more from that without interacting with the town.
I also worry that if the eyes are on us, if it is part of this greater hive mind situation, that they know about the. I don't know. I guess I'm just worried that they will know if the reservoir is an important thing, that they will see it coming. So
yeah,
for whatever it's worth, the very first person you talked to in this town talked about the reservoir, and everyone's been mentioning it. So if you're going with the hive mind theory, you were made like way before now.
you know.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly was going in the fact that they've known who we are and what we're doing the whole time, and they were maybe just hoping that we wouldn't find anything and just leave.
I mean, also, at this point, there's 2 of us who are infected, so they already know that we were there.
Yeah.
Agent Eastman, how much did you eat last night?
I mean, I had probably a good healthy... I'm trying to be polite, so a healthy amount, which is none of it. Did I get breakfast? Shoot, I don't know. Let's say yes.
Okay. That's all. Carry on.
What was that? What was that?
Concern.
That's Aaron doing his normal GM fuckery.
What the fuck was that?
He's creating what? No, sorry. Sometimes I just get curious.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So you suggested a couple of different options. If the thing is in the reservoir, I guess you put together a plan for like how to I mean, like scuba dive in it, or how would you flush that out? I don't answer that question.
Okay.
If you want to go into like the binary theory, the radio, the kind of like the Scott Adams side of it, you have the equipment you need to do that. You can, if the hive mind is protecting something inside the county building, you can deal with that. What direction feels best and least painful for you?
I think going after the radio signal. We got the equipment. I think
we have the equipment, and yeah. I feel like it's going to give us some sort of insight into maybe what is like. Maybe they're sending stuff by radio signals, and maybe the radio signals have something to do with all of this.
Yeah.
It's the least intrusive, but yeah. And then we've got the mother on the back burner.
Yeah.
Remind me, Agent North, what your SIGINT is.
It is 50 base.
Okay. Doing a scan right now will tell you that here's the information you have. You know what Adams was recording. You have the metadata on it, which tells you the time, and that came in the evening. When you set up the equipment now and you're looking around for those frequencies, trying to find stuff, there is nothing coming out of the town at this time of day.
Sure.
If you turned it on at night, probably a different story. But right now, you turn that antenna on, and like whatever radio waves are hitting it are so far away as they cannot possibly be the source in this town.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I will leave it up to you whether you want to wait until later tonight and just kind of like bunker down, or if you want to go do something else in the meantime. But I promise you, it will have a different result if you try it once the sun goes down.
I mean, okay. We could kill time by talking to Mom.
Yeah, it won't. I think she's theoretically alone now, right? No one should be with her.
Should be,
even though. So,
I mean, unless she has a boyfriend now.
Her husband died like a week ago.
Dude, look, I'm not looking for
we all express grief in different ways. Aiden.
Yeah, there you go.
Sometimes the best way to get over the loss of a man is to get under a different man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's like, confirm.
It's like breakup sex, but different.
Grief sex.
Oh,
what are we talking about now? What is
that? Nothing, Jojo. Nothing. Okay. You sweet cinnamon roll of a man. Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe not there. It's kind of, unless we want to storm the
Capitol building.
The Capitol building. Oh no.
Well, you're in the right place for that kind of thinking.
And just find
maybe Eastman, you are very good at talking to people and maybe keeping people busy. Maybe you can keep the lovely receptionist busy while we all slip and maybe see if there's anything else that we can find.
I did have a thought, and if this is absolutely ridiculous, somebody please tell me. But since she kind of feels a little bit like a chatbot, if we manage to get her book and rework the meetings, right? The appointments, so that all of a sudden we did have an appointment. We can be like, no, see, it's in your book.
Taking advantage of this person's lack of object permanence.
Yes.
Like a child. Like
I don't
person
know
with
the
ADHD.
degree. I don't know the degree to which this person is either infected by this protomatter or, you know, impacted by things like that. But I mean, it was a admittedly a little bit of a shenanigans thought, but I thought I would throw it out there just in case.
Like the idea that it's like a child when you're playing peekaboo. They don't have object permanence. So playing peekaboo is not peekaboo. It's I exist, I don't exist. Well, it's backwards.
Yeah,
but it's
backwards,
like exist
yeah.
and don't exist. Like when the child cannot see you, you cease to exist. That's the game is terrifying.
Yeah.
I really like that idea actually, because it's actually will be a bit telling to tell us how far this goes.
Yeah, it definitely will give us information.
And since we're lacking information and we have nothing but time until we can get more information, we might as well try to get more information now.
Well, in the past, you mentioned that you were thinking about doing like what you called it, like CIA black work or something like that, about trying to find a sneak away in. So we have options there. You can try to just evade the receptionist, get everyone in a different way. You can try to bamboozle her by.
I mean, is there like a back door, like maybe a parking garage, and people maybe enter through a different part?
I don't think there's enough cars in this fucking town to warrant a parking garage.
Like a side entrance?
To the point, you could crack a window, right? Or there's a fire exit or something, right? This is not a battle map kind of game where I can show you the thing and you can find the secret door.
Yeah. Someone's got to go out for a smoke break at some point and you know, crack the fire door open, and then we just slip right in.
I will leave it up to you as to which of those ways you think is the best mode. The other question I will ask is, if you're afraid of the town now, what's the arming situation? Like, are you kind of giving up the sneaky bit and you're gonna start rolling around loaded for bear, or what?
I mean, I have the same amount of weapons that I had before, but
I think I transfer my gun from my medical bag to on my person. It's like got like one of those like back holsters, like where, you know, and I'm wearing like a flannel or something, so there's like a little bit of like, you can't tell because it's like a little bit floaty.
I know Agent Eastman came with the full kit, so
yeah, like I have a medium and a light pistol, and I do have a carbine in this trunk, so we can at least be ready to go.
Yeah, I also have a medium pistol and an AR-15, so yeah.
I think I just have like a medium pistol or something, whatever they gave me.
I am equipped with a flashlight. I'm gonna tag someone with a mag light. As of July 1st, 2021, Tennessee is a permitless carry state. You do not need a permit to open carry in Tennessee.
So all the people that we saw walking by us, they were probably all walking around with ARs on their backs too. So would not look out of place.
It's worse now.
I don't know about Tennessee, but when I was in Mississippi for some Air Force shit, there were no, like, I would go to Subway and there would be like a dude wearing like Crocs with sandals, like middle-aged man khaki pants, and like a t-shirt with something like offensive and political on it, and an AR-15 like just open.
Terrifying.
They exist. Yeah, it was awful.
Horrifying.
I am all up for like a sneaky receptionist job because I don't want to sneak around the building because eyes are everywhere.
Yeah.
And if we can find out that she can be bamboozled so easily, maybe we can learn that everyone can be bamboozled so easily, if you kind of understand what I mean.
I leave the choice up to you. Like I said, the only thing I want to know is what direction you're going and what you're taking into the area.
Maybe we get a cup of coffee, bring it in, accidentally spill it on her, or something. And so she has to go to like the bathroom to like clean it off her shirt.
I mean, idea is great. Just pick something and we'll see what the dice do.
Let's just go in.
Eastman, are you going with the like? I'm gonna get the AR and we're gonna LARP as January 6th peaceful protesters. Sorry, since Agent Southerland started it, and now
My
I
bad.
can't.
But-
How about we don't have to bring in the big guns. I can still conceal 2 pistols without causing too much of a. I'm a government agent. I'm wearing a suit. I can have a gun on my side. That's not crazy. An AR, that's a whole thing. That's a statement. Let's go. If you have a gun, Southerland, you don't have a gun, right?
No.
I am going to give you my light pistol.
Okay.
Just yeah. You know how to use this. Aim this bit. Aim the bit with the barrel. Aim that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't aim that at us at all, ever.
Okay.
Never.
Yeah.
Until I tell you to do it, and then when you do it, then you can.
Okay.
Don't safety. Safety is super important.
Safety's on.
Yeah.
I shot a gun once in like when I was a kid in summer camp. So safety's
it's just
on.
like summer camp. It is just like summer camp, Southerland. Safety's on. Pick a buddy. Stick with your buddy. Okay. You have that. Everyone else, we're armed. We got that. Honestly, let's just go inside. Let's see if we can get past this lady and move on.
What if we claim that we have an appointment?
That was gonna
we
be
just claim it.
no,
like,
I
we have an appointment.
Yeah.
We have an appointment.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot overstate how not present this woman is.
Okay.
This
Let's
poor
walk
young
up.
woman.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
So
I absolutely, while Southerland is getting his little impromptu gun safety lesson, I definitely grabbed the AR. Because I'm like, if everybody's going to be staring at us now, fuck that. I'm like, I'm in a hoodie. I don't care. Whatever. I look like I fit in. Sure. Everybody knows us, but whatever. It's not weird. So, AR.
I mean, if we're going to do that, fine. I get mine.
Don't want to be left
now
out.
you just look like a
No,
happy
because-
Republican family on your way to
Aw.
complain about how taxes are too high. Just like mommy and daddy with the AR and the kids with their pistols and.
Oh. Okay, so yes, we are going full guns blazing. Not yet, but it will happen inside.
I was walking back into the place. The woman, if she recognizes you, there is no glimmer of that in her eye. It's the same. Hey, welcome to the Groversville County Administration Building. Do you have an appointment?
Absolutely, we do.
Yep. And then we just walk right past
We just
her.
keep going.
Yeah.
All right. As you're cruising past, she's like, "May I ask who it's here to see?" And like nothing. Eyes aren't even moving. Just
No.
like.
No, you can't ask. Thank you. Keep
Well,
walking.
The building is not so complex as you need a map, right? There's one staircase that goes up, and there's the offices and like the one county courthouse at the top of it. It's not like the county courtroom. It is the room where county things happen. Sometimes that is a court. Sometimes that is a meeting of the aldermen. There are offices on the sides where the individual people and like maybe the tax clerk go. And then if you need to like pay a parking ticket, you go to the basement. It's that kind of like very small administrative place. One thing you will notice as you begin to mount the stairs is that the lights are off. It is dark as shit upstairs.
Like Scott Adams' room dark?
That is a connection you could make if you wanted to, yeah.
Okay.
Sutherland, do you still have that mag light?
Yes, you are allowed to have flashlights. It's not like a D&D 2e, like, oh, do you have torches? Let me see your character sheet. So yeah, dark. Also, dead quiet. There's no activity, like there's no shuffling of papers, there's no phones ringing, there's no like copy machine making copies.
Are there like, if we do this, are there things covering the windows?
Like the shutters are closed, or like curtains or whatever. It's not like blacked out with like trash bags the way it was.
Because now I'm thinking that every time we've encountered any of these, it's always been incredibly dark. With like my flashlight, I will gesture towards like the curtains and stuff, and then I will go over and just sort of like be like, do we open? And I'm just gonna start opening any of the curtains or shutters. Because
No, you go. Finish your thought, and then I will.
I was saying, like, what if these have some sort of sensitivity to light?
Yeah, that would be my thought. And as she's opening this, before you get into it, if anything happens, Aaron, I would like, with my alertness skill, to pay attention and see if there are any more people that have gathered outside the building, or if there are people staring at the building in our general direction as being upstairs inside this building. So
you're gonna open the window to let light in, and then look out the window.
Yes.
We don't need to roll alertness to see people who are just like standing there staring at you. There are more, not a lot more, but there are more than there were.
Are they moving closer, or are they just standing still?
Just kind of standing still.
Okay.
Why does that feel worse? Why?
Because it is. Thanks.
I mean, like, there was 24 before. Maybe there's like 2.5 now. It's not like the whole town is like forming a human wall. It's like someone's walking by and was like, "Oh, what's that over there?" But they're not staring at you now, obviously, because that would be weird. But they're staring at the building.
Okay, so they're not like staring upstairs in through the second floor window that we are standing at, because they can sense that we're upstairs.
Yeah, it's not like they have like wall hacks and they're like spiking you.
Wall hacks, aimbots.
I mean, no, good to ask, because you're dealing with the unnatural. It's possible that Protomatic gives you wall hacks. I don't know. But no, they are not. The rooms that are up here are unoccupied in terms of offices and things like that, and it won't be until you actually arrive at the alderman's boardroom that you have anything to discover. I'm going to give you the benefit.
Before we go in,
yeah.
Do we smell rot?
Rot? No.
Like, okay, just making sure there's not another corpse situation, because you can smell a dead body.
What do we smell? Because
that's a great
because
very
that
difficult
face...
to place. Not something that you would like. Thinking about your character backgrounds and where you come from, it is not a smell you would recognize, except to say that it just like smells. It's not like hugely unpleasant. It's not like sulfury. It's not rotty. It's not organic. Like, it doesn't smell like anything you could place, any of you, based on your backgrounds. I can tell you what it smells like if/when at this point someone opens the door, which is why the question I have is how you're approaching this. It's they're like double doors, right? Very fancy kind of thing. Sorry for hitting my microphone. So it's possible that you could come up like in two stacks and like peek, but the doors are like solid. There's no window through them.
I will let the people with the heavier guns lead.
Yeah. I think if one of us posts up on one side, one of us posts up on the other side, and then we each have our buddy to kind of situate themselves behind us, like or next to us rather. We'll go one side of the door and then file in.
All right. Will everyone roll sand for me?
Yeah. 70.
You fail?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, shit.
28.
It's 1d8 if you fail.
I did not.
And only 1 if you succeed.
Sanity? 42 to 73.
Okay, so you'll take 1. Dr. West Pass takes 1. Agent Eastman?
I got 57, which is a fail, because my sanity's 55, and I just rolled an 8. So
Yeah, we'll talk
Oh.
about what happens when you go temporarily insane here in a second. Agent
Oh, in a
Norris.
second.
I only lost 4.
Okay, you are
And
fine.
I still haven't hit my breaking point, so we're good.
It's only a one shot, so we're going to go kind of past the kind of like more complicated sanity rules.
Sure.
There's also that problem in Call of Cthulhu where they translate sanity into mental illness that no one has managed to solve. So I will tell you this much, that when you lose 5 or more, you have a temporary just like brain reset moment. And I like to offer people just a choice. You can fight, you can flee, or you can freeze.
I'm fighting.
Okay.
Yep. That makes sense.
Because here's the thing. You open up the door, and it's not the kind of thing that your brain can take in all at once. You have to like trace your way around the room to get the full picture of what happens, because staring straight ahead of you, what you see doesn't make any sense. And you need to contextualize it with the other information that you have available. Also, very dark in here. Dr. West, you asked before if the walls were blacked out, and in here they are. So you get your flashlights out, and you just see individual cones of information coming in your direction. The furniture in this room has been overturned, thrown everywhere. Like the boardroom table is broken in half. The chairs are all over the place. There are bookcases toppled, papers a mess everywhere. There is in the first moment you would think this room is carpeted, which would be weird because it'd be the only room in this building that is carpeted. And the reason that feels weird is because it's not carpet. It's like a 1/4 inch to an inch thick layer of a kind of gray flesh-like material that ripples and kind of rides. If you've ever seen it, you can actually place like sodium on freshly butchered meat, and the sodium will trigger the neural pathways in that meat, and they'll throb and they'll ripple. Don't Google it; it's kind of gross. But the point is, that is what is happening here. And as you get closer to the like center back of the room, it starts to build, mound, and tangle. And it's at one moment you shine and you swear for a second you see an alderman sitting there, but then on the left or the right of him there's nothing. It's just like face and then gray, and you move the light over to see something else and there's just more gray, and you come back and the face has moved. And as all of this comes together, you are staring at what is essentially a wall of sentient moaning flesh. That there is not the board of aldermen, there is the alderman made of all the aldermen in a Cronenbergy, tentacly, pseudopod sprouting mess. Like someone has taken the aldermen and then dissolved them into, and this is the smell, like a meat slurry, like what you fill a hot dog or sausage case with. So that the smell is like a meat slurry jello made of human and proto matter with faces and the occasional human limb coming out of them. Now, Agent Eastman, you have committed to fight, and I will take you at your word for that. The rest of you, I will be happy to ask you when we return next week, because we have hit the end of our recording limit, y'all.
Why?
Because
Why?
we can't get through a fight.
Oh,
if
yeah.
I'm
No! No!
Yes,
Of course,
that's an
see-
episode. Sorry, go ahead.
See Eldritch Horror, an episode, just how it goes.
I was worried that we wouldn't be able to do that, but then you were all like, well, wait, and had this conversation, like, yeah, deliberate, and then looking at the clock saying we can get right there. Well, I'm sorry it keeps happening because I keep doing it on purpose.
No, you're not. Yeah, I was gonna say you're absolutely not sorry about this at all. Not even a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends, this has been episode 2 of Convergence, a scenario for Delta Green. I have been joined by some utterly wonderful people, and I would like them to talk a little bit about who they are and where they're from. Starting with Agent Eastman, it is Logan. Where can folks who want to see more of your wonderful face and hear more of your wonderful performances do so?
Right now, just keep an eye out on my Twitter. I am Logan the DM on Twitter. You'll find me just listed as Logan he him. I am posting all the time, all kinds of sassy things. Go look at my feed because I posted a video of my cat chasing his own tail. It is adorable. That's where you can find me for now.
I watched it legitimately like 7 or 8 times in a row last night. I'm not even kidding. And adjacent, Logan on my frame, Jojo, where can people find you? Where can people hear you? Where can people see you?
Hello. You can just find me on Twitter at it's DM Jojo. I don't have anything in the works. I just like to play games and meet new people. So it's cool to be here. And yeah, you can find me there. Let's talk.
We highly recommend working with Jojo, but not on days where we've already tried to book him. And sitting next to Agent Southerland, sitting next to Jojo, we have the wonderful Dr. West. Aubrey, tell us who you are, where people can find you, where people can see you.
Hello, I am Aubrey. You can usually find me everywhere on Twitter and most social medias at Mad Queen Cosplay. I am the co-producer and GM of Goblets and Gays, which is a Pathfinder 2E goodness, and Anima Magiri, which is a fun little City of Mist for season 1 podcast that is inspired by all of my love of horror movies. And you usually find me every Monday over on Nat 20 Productions playing in Wayward Arcadia.
Highly recommend Wayward Arcadium. It's a lot of fun. The last time that I tuned in, PJ played an NPC that I believe was Hero's genitalia.
Yes.
Also at the table, lastly but not leastly, and certainly heavy lifting beastly, it is V. V, you've been playing Agent North, but if people want more of you, where can they find it? Where can they see it?
You can find me on Twitter at V is for Vampire because my name is V and I love vampires. You can also find me here at Queen's Court Games. Obviously, I am the queen of the court. Always here, always happy to be here, always playing games with all of our lovely friends. But Aaron, you're wrong. I am not last. You are last. So who are you? Where can people find you?
Last cast member. I am, as always, your storyteller. Like literally, as always, I'm a forever G. Like if anyone out there, if you're gonna run a game and you're like, I would love to give someone the opportunity to play who never gets to play, and you think that that means like new people to the space who like have never been on an actual play stream before, but like what I want you to know is that there are people like me who never get to play because we're always running things, and we also count. So like, please just come rescue me from always having to torment people. Torment me for a change. If you want to make that invitation, you can find me at Aaron in Words on Twitter. I mostly just banter about rules and post little quips from rule books, but that's fine. We can hang out together. If you would like more from Queen's Court Games, you can find it at Queen's Court RPG on Twitter or Queen's Court Games on YouTube. If you would like to find out how this fight and maybe the scenario ends, come on back, same time, same place next week. We'll see what happens when Agent Eastman, in a fit of insane fury, takes on a sentient wall of flesh. We'll find out if Agent North and Agent West help, and we will find out if Agent Southerland is going to call that phone and push that button. In the meantime, we've been happy to have you here, but we're going to let you go. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.